Connecticut. What's going on? So I wanted to switch this up a little bit. Usually I'm doing, because I'm always working in New York, but many people know I live here in Connecticut. I've always lived in Connecticut for the better part of most of my life. So I said, you know what, let me do a live in Connecticut today. Came outside, it's beautiful outside today. It was about 75 degrees outside here. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna share this real quick, and then I'm gonna get back to you guys. We're gonna talk a little bit about Shannon Sharpe, what's going on with him. I hope you guys checked out the uploads I did yesterday. I did several of them. I got my other device with me, so I'll run through and tell y'all guys what everything is. But yeah, man, I didn't jump on this thing with Shannon Sharpe yesterday because it wasn't enough detail for me. And I always need detail. I'm not like a lot of other vloggers, and I think I'll show example of that. I go to, I cover court cases, things of that nature. So for me, I'm always there in person. You know what I mean? Whether it be the Jonathan Majors trial, Trump trial, and now here with this upcoming Diddy trial, and me covering all 5 different hearings now at this point. I saw a lot of similarities. Number one was a lawyer. I think the lawyer is the most promptive thing here that's paramount in the conversation of who he is. And this now would make it, I think, if memory serves me correct, maybe the 12th or 13th lawsuit that he's pursued at this point. And I think only one of them got through really to filtration when we were going into adjudication process or whatever. And I think that was the one with the girl from, if memory serves me correct, because I actually went there where they had the MTV Music Awards, which is a Radio City Music Hall. And so if you guys remember the upload that I did, and it wasn't even an upload, I went live actually, gave you a play-by-play, and I even went as far as to have a New York City police officer on camera with me to verify what I had told y'all 2 nights prior to that. I said, well, there's no way you can get around it because that's not a type of, out of all the places, you see, you got NBC right there. You guys have seen me there, Rockefeller Center. You guys have seen me do concerts over there. You got, when they have the summer concert series over at NBC, which is now, what do they call themselves now? The Flamingo Network something. Anyway, Parakeet, what is it? All right, what's going on? Everybody getting in here. Yo, what's going on, Mustache McGee? David, hi from Scotland. What's going on, Scotland? Everybody, give me 2 seconds. I'm going to share this. It acts funny. It doesn't get our people out to us, so we have to do it, take it upon ourselves. This app, because it's always like that. Mike Lanes, what's popping? What's going on? And the disc, because I got to watch people. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. Thanks for joining in. So let me pick this up since more people jumped in. That's all I had to do was share it, and more people get in. It's crazy. Since a lot of y'all just now jumping in, we're covering Shannon Sharpe, but I want to take it from a different perspective. I've seen it taken from perspectives of making fun of Shannon Sharpe. I've seen it taken from perspectives of condemning Shannon Sharpe and saying that he's definitely guilty. He's just the next in line, and I told y'all this is what it was going to be. If memory serves me correct, it was one Shannon Sharpe who had one hell of a run with a podcast he did with Cat Williams, wasn't it? And Cat Williams, some will say now, that he predicted a lot of this stuff that was going on, inclusive with Diddy and a couple other people. Now, many of y'all don't know, or do know, most of y'all do know, I worked at that company, Bad Boy Entertainment, for over 17 years. I was around that company when a lot of these things that they're bringing up have been brought into fruition. This 3 days ago, I took y'all to our old offices, 1540 Broadway in Midtown Manhattan. I gave y'all a run through. As y'all can see, the security was on what's the name of me? Everybody know me in that building. Alongside that, we went on to Arista. They were our distributor, Atlantic Records. They were our distributor after that at Arista, which was part of BMG. That's the BMG building at the time. Burroughsville Music Group, they're a German conglomerate. I came around 2000 going into, it really 99 going into 2000, then I stopped and then I came back. So it's kind of like 2000 to 2001, but partially of 99. I had to take a little sabbatical. Anyway, never mind that. I, like many others, have concluded and say this as somebody that went state to state with these guys. I've stayed in all the hotels you could think of, from the W to the Cleveland, I mean, everywhere. And I got the pictures to show y'all guys many a times to prove it. I usually have to do that. That's why I brought my other device with me just in case y'all need some verification. Some people, they need verification, you know. But out of the years, if not a decade and a half of photos I've had, video I've had, and everything else, I, myself, Ray J Now, Amber Rose, and many others are saying the same thing. Hey, I never saw none of this behavior when I was around. And I have to say, we partied with these guys. We did club performances with these guys. We went video shoots with these guys. Hell, I'm in 5 different videos. I'm in Whoa, I'm in Notorious. I'm in, what's Kim's joint? I'm in that one. I'm in like a couple of joints. Under 10, but at least 5 to 6. Might be more than that. Oh yeah, Nas, You Can Hate Me Now. I'm in that video. I'm in the scene where when we all in the street and Nas is standing on the roof. I'm in that scene. I still look the same, so it won't be hard to detect me. Shout out to Arizona for everybody be like, yo, he drinking beer. I don't drink beer. I only drink beer if I'm with the fellas, we at a game, or we crashing at a bar real quick or something like that. And I don't even drink beer at a bar, so that's a lie. If we're at somebody's house or something. What y'all saying in here? West Arizona, what's going on? Have you ever been to Minnesota? I have not been to Minnesota, but I know some people in Arizona. I love fruit punch better. Not gonna lie. Remind me of DML guy. Here we got a first one. Nah, that ain't the subject here, brother. Some other nigga wrote in here. Dude, really, nigga? Really, nigga? Like, I just hate when people like write stuff like that in it. Like, don't write stuff just to write stuff. Write something that makes some sense. Other than that, you just a cornball. Let's get this one out of here. Give me a second, guys. I'm just getting some of these people out of here. Back to back. Guys, 106 people on the chat room. Make sure y'all hit that like button for me. Hit that like button. I appreciate it. With that being said, I spent a lot of time with that company. I like that company. I like a lot of the music. I was there in facilitation of marketing, if not almost every artist in that 17-year span, the majority of them. And not just them, bad boy artists, but also artists from whoever our distributor was. So we did projects with Arista, Atlantic, and then finally Interscope. I think the last project I did was French Montana. Yeah, French Montana was the last project I did. It might have been something else, but I think it was French Montana, and I think at that time it was the second album. So, you know, I got some history with the company. There will be a lot of people that will be online, and they will try to tell you something else. In fact, they will tell you something opposite. And then when I put up everything, you know, and this is somebody who lives in Ohio. This is somebody, don't get me mistaken. This is not people that live in the New York City tri-state area. And so they have to compete with us up here. And so the way they compete is by telling lies, manipulating people. You know what I'm saying? The regular rigmarole that you would normally see in real life is now being facilitated online. This is a new strategy. I don't know it, so I'm gonna lie. I'm not in the area, so I'm gonna lie. Which brings me to this. There's been a bombardment, as you want to say, a bombardment. I won't use that word. By the efforts and avocation of what I like to call the sisterhood of the traveling big backs and bitter women. Because let me tell you something, I got 2 sisters, both of them pretty as hell. They ain't gonna walk in no room and no man's gonna be staring at them. The traveling sisterhood of big backs in our nation is our nation's problem. These group of subjective women have now infiltrated almost every app you can think of with their sheer fuckery. Let me run you back in history for a little bit. We had the whole thing with Johnny Depp going on, right? Y'all remember that, Johnny Depp? And Amber Heard, who I always like to bring up the fact, she took a dump in his bed. We feeling sorry for a chick that took a dump in somebody's bed. Once again, the traveling sisterhood of big backs support this shit. And these are usually women that are unattractive. That's what I find in most of these groups. Because pretty women, they out making money, being pretty, or finding a man that thinks they're just as pretty and taken care of. Now, that's just the way of the world. With that being said, there are also pretty women that make their way into these little marges or whatever. But I think at some point or another, they feel some type of empathy for the sisterhood of big backs. Now, the sisterhood of big backs online, they don't have any type You can be black, white, polka dot. Hell, you could be a woman. We got a terminology for that too. She's a pick-me. I watched these broads attack Felicia Rashad, who used to be on the Cosby Show. I watched the Cosby Show when I was growing up. And I remember on the Cosby Show, the dynamic represented the dynamic of my aunts and uncles in that military. Well, maybe not with the military, but definitely with their job descriptions. You know what I'm saying? I had one uncle, he worked at GE for years in product development. I had another uncle that worked at a company called Digital. They make processors. I don't know if that company's still alive or not, but they did. It's an acronym, Digital. Look them up, you'll see what I'm talking about. I had another aunt that was a school teacher. My other great aunt was my third grade English teacher, and many of our friends teacher as well. So, you know, I say that to say, nobody's exempt from the sisterhood of the traveling big backs nowadays. And their postage girls that they have in between. Is there a cream I can put in my, oh my God. Yeah, hold on. Why'd y'all tell me that was in here? Y'all see somebody writing something perverted? Just flag them. Just flag them. Just flag them. You stay wearing some fly shit, but the jacket nice. Keep doing your thing. Thank you, Intelligent Mind. I ain't seen you in a minute. Percy Walker, what's shaking? Nah, I wouldn't even answer that question online. If it was what? Keisha Aves asked me, have I ever been in New York? Let me tell y'all something here online. Y'all got to start doing a little bit more investigating on who y'all listening to. I keep trying to tell y'all listening to people, some of these people ain't even graduated high school and you getting led by them. Some of these people, their job career consists of McDonald's, but let me continue. Long story short, with that being said, these women that are online today had a bombardment of trying to tear down Shannon Sharpe and everything Shannon Sharpe stood for. And I remember quite clearly, it was Shannon Sharpe who actually had Cat Williams on there. And subsequently, since then, they've been talking about the downfall of Diddy. Let's call it like these people like to call it, right? The downfall of Diddy. He's going down. And there's been an effort of these women. It doesn't matter. And that's why I even use Johnny Depp as an example. It's been, and she took a dump in his bed. I don't want to ever leave that out of the conversation. We were feeling sorry for a woman that took a deuce in somebody's bed. Just let that sink in for a minute. Let that simmer for this 1 minute. Just let that simmer, people. We were feeling sorry for a woman that, under oath, she admitted that she took a deuce in a man's bed. Let me tell you something. You know how wicked and demented and sociopathic you have to be to take a deuce to somebody's bed? That right there should have led you to a trajectory of different thinking. Because now we've seen this repeated several times. Now we got Shannon Sharpe up in the minds. And I peeped the style. The style is shakedown. 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 They tried to shake down Jay. This particular lawyer, that's the only one I'm talking about. This particular lawyer, I'm fair with it, and being someone that covers this trial in person, someone that's at the courthouse, as you guys saw me this past Friday, someone that's with Real Media, which I got to talk to one of my buddies if you're watching. Hey, bud, watch what you're saying when the goddamn mic's on. That's what I'm going to say about that. I'll never put up the footage, but watch what you say, my little friend with the afro when the mic is on, okay? For real. Shout out to my homie, you know what I'm saying? Only brother with, the only other minority was in the courtroom from media that was covering Jonathan Majors. Me, him, and another Puerto Rican gentleman from the New York Post. That's it. And he wasn't even there every day. Me and him were there every day. And so being attached to the what's the name from, I just wanted to send him a warning about something. But anyway, continuing on. This one particular lawyer, Tony Buzbee, has a lot of traction. We found out that Tony Buzbee has been incorrect in several different situations. We found that Tony Buzbee has force. I have never seen ambulance chasing at his peak. From that day that I saw him put up that 1-800 number sign, I said, something's off here. Something's off here. Something's off here. And you'll always have a batch of particular men of a certain ilk that will side with a man like that. You know what I mean? Tony Buzbee has a scarred background. If my memory serves me correct, I did one story on him, and it was about a woman who was getting a divorce, and somehow or another, Tony Buzbee ended up sleeping with her, and she caught an STD. Do many people remember that story? You can go look it up, go Google it right now. It'll come right up for you. Take your time. Go Google it right now. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Go Google it right now and look up the story. There was another story of corruption with Tony Buzbee, which is Google. You can Google it. Like I don't like one thing I don't get off on, and I never have, and that's why a lot of people kept me around in the music industry for so long, is I never got into a thing where I'm sitting there and I'm lying to people. A lot of people liked me because I cursed. You know what I mean? It was like, well, at least we can trust me. But then a lot of guys that I worked with, a lot of guys were just simple men. You know what I mean? A lot of people think that they get this. Let me teach y'all something real quick. This is just from my experience. And like I said, I went through 3 different distributors. I went through BMG, I went through Atlantic Records, and I went through Interscope, all right? And many of y'all know this, and some of y'all that don't, that's why I always reiterate it. With that being said, let me tell y'all, it's 2 type of people, really 3 type of people you'll find in the work site in corporate America. And I'm telling you this from somebody that worked in it. You're going to find the first type. The first type is usually the type that talks a lot, and usually they don't get much done. What they do is they feed off the energy of others that do get shit done. And so those types, you always stay away from them because they're always going to be in one position. They're going to be a worker. You understand? And these people are quite fine with being workers. This is the type of guy you can give them $10,000, he'll be all right with that. You know what I'm saying? Damn, it's the most money I ever had in my life. Really? But see you in society and point their finger at you, but never met the elk that you did. So you have to keep in mind, that's one type that you have. The second type that you have is the type that is the team leader, if you want to say. But sometimes this team leader gets a little overzealous, a little inducted a little too much into the work environment to the point that they become shysty, they become untrustworthy, but they'll smile with you. Oh, they'll smile with you all the time. And then the third type that you have, and the only important motherfucker in the building, is the bosses. Oh, that's what I want to sit on. And the bosses, one thing the bosses don't like, because the bosses got to be bosses because they naturally took their ideas, naturally took who they were and elevated it to a position where they can hire. You understand? That's the difference between the boss, and the boss sometimes is backed by a company, as Puff was one time, and these other CEOs that y'all talk about. But the point remains is, it was his cookie shop. You understand what I'm saying? And so when you got your own cookie shop, like I like to say, you always got to be aware there's other cookie shops on the block. But the only product that we're concerned with, unless it's affecting the overall of our GDP for the year, is our product. That's the only product we worry about. Fuck everybody else's product. And that's how you have to look at it. So when I say this, I say that to y'all to offer y'all some advice, in case I know a lot of y'all are in the college ages or whatever. You're not going to get into corporate America and hit the elks by brown nosing and kissing ass. That was my point. A lot of people that I worked around, I'm not going to say directly worked with, because those are my bros, but a lot of people that we worked around were obvious ass kissers. I'm talking about, when I say ass kissing, I'm talking about tongue puckered and a roll of toilet paper in their right hand. And what did you find? I find it's universal. Even when I, around major media, it's the same thing. The kiss asses, you always sell them from a mile away. So I don't never pay too much attention to the kiss asses, and nor do the bosses. That helps you out there. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. Over 141 people in here. We can't get a like. I don't want to hear about your dad doing anything to you. Get off my live talking crazy. Cricket Man, what's good? I got your message the other day. That's somebody I do know. Cricket Man, can you write my Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80? Okay, Jalen, thank you. Jalen got it for me. Thank you, Jalen. Jalen, what's going on? Now, this is not NYC. I live in Connecticut. Another Avenatti. Avenatti was a guy, man. Avenatti was a guy. Avenatti did so. I think it was with Nike, wasn't it? I covered that story too, but we're not talking about him. Let's move on. Now, with Tony Buzbee, we've all seen Tony Buzbee do this move where he assesses the situation. Most people are saying about reputation now, mightily. You know what I mean? He's not investigating in depth enough before he's bringing up these what's-the-names, which led me to believe something else. And I got a theory. See, just like some of these people that, how could you say, they're not litigants, they're witnesses or potential victims, right? I think some of them, not all of them, some of them, and I've been doing this for a long time. I'm privy to a lot of situations and a lot of names, which I'm not going to name here, but you have seen be destroyed on here, claiming that they were around Diddy, they were around somebody else or whatever. Whether you think he's guilty, not guilty, doesn't matter to me. My point is, we've seen him. Well, there's also a second and third tier of people. There's these types that, well, let me start with the first one. The first set, they want to sue Diddy because they want attention, in my point, or the chance to get a money grab, or the chance to just be recognized, interviewed, and there's money that comes along with that. Even if you just accuse him, cameras want to sit down with you, cameras want to talk to you, cameras are going to pay you. If you're somebody that says, hey, I'm a whistleblower or some shit like that, right, because that seems to be the other one, they're going to say, hey, we got a check for you. And that's the move. I've seen it. Y'all seen it. Everybody's seen it. We've seen some people get deconstructed and unpacked as an example to the masses for doing so. There's also a second type. This second type is the type, and I know a couple of these types right now. I know one in particular. But anyway, there's this type that they just want to get mentioned in a lawsuit. So meaning if Pub turns around, he says, yo, I want to counter this one like he did with News Nation. What happens is you get these people that just, they're, how can I say, off at the fact that they got mentioned in one of the biggest headline lawsuits outside of Harvey Weinstein and what's this other guy's name going on right now, that they could be mentioned in. And it's historical for them because many of these people, you have to realize, they've never been recognized in their whole entire life. See, that's what the internet has been able to make people, let people do. People that have never been recognized, or people that in some cases, in my personal opinion, and many other people will say too, that are mentally ill, sociopaths, misandrous, extreme feminists, and a whole list of other different types that I could list here. These people now have a voice, and they shouldn't have a voice. You understand what I'm saying? Some of these people, they live around their families, and their families know them for 10, 15, 20, 30, 40 years, and they'll tell you, this person shouldn't have a YouTube account. He's crazy in this house. We know him around the family as being nuts, or him or her or whatever. People don't do that. Instead, they look for the notoriety and the narratives. So when you have somebody in that mentality, they'll file a lawsuit just so they can get mentioned, or they'll, and I know this sounds crazy, embrace the fact that they got sued. They'll embrace, oh my God, I got sued by Diddy. My life is going to change. Yeah, you mess around, your life might change in a financial way. I want to express that. The third type you got is a type, which I'm seeing, that does shakedowns. Now, from what I'm hearing now, and I got to keep it real, Shannon. Shannon was in some type of litigation or some type of something about 6 months ago with this girl. All right? Now, I want to keep that in order. Doesn't mean that she's right. That's obvious. She ain't. And there's something funny here. Because I listened to, what's her name? A little light-skinned girl. She cute as a motherfucker. I wouldn't trust her as far as I could throw her. What's her name? Tissa Tails. She chose to take the other route today. And her route was, well, you know, in my personal opinion, I don't think this girl likes African-American men or this men dark, period. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just my personal opinion. Anytime she gets the scout and the jump on a man of color, she's going to do it, in my personal opinion. I've seen her try to destroy Shannon Sharpe with an argument. Oh, well, he was 50-something years old and she was 19. But she wants to leave out the fact that one, and I'm glad Charlamagne and Envy actually brought it up. You know what I'm saying? We've been around Envy. I got pictures with Envy, which I'm going to show you out in a minute. But I thought the fact that she started taking the misandrous route again, and a lot of her material is very biased, and she definitely has a disregard for men of color for whatever reason. I don't know, when she's a woman of color. A lot of these women that think like this, I think they're just trying to be accepted, and I don't know what they try to be accepted of, but it's really, and you guys that are minorities in here, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's this fixation in their mind that's faux, but it's in their mind that, hey, if I go over here, excuse me guys, if I go over here and I brown nose enough, tap dance enough, Kids say, I'll refer you back again. I've worked in the music industry for 17 years. You're not going to get anywhere brown nosy. I grew up here in Connecticut. My whole life I've been around nothing but Italians and Greeks and Jewish people. I used to live in the shoreline, so it's a lot more different than where I'm at right now. And I can tell you for a fact, most white Americans, so listen to me very well, growing up around folks, most white Americans can tell when you brown nosing or you put on a fake accent like, oh my God, how you doing, God? And that's why I never do that. Y'all notice that? I'm at the courthouse. I was just joking the other day on camera with one of the bailiffs who knows me very well. I'll be in seas of 40 to 50 cops up at Trump Tower before. I mean, and all those guys, you notice, they all respect me because I act myself. I don't put on any fraud faces and, you know, because most of the time when people are putting on fraud faces in front of you, it's because they're hiding something. You understand? They're hiding something. You know, you may not know what they're hiding, but I always watch, especially when I see a minority do that, because I can tell very quickly if you, like I can even tell around my area, we have a lot of people that come out here and they're from Jersey, New York, and other parts of Connecticut. You could quickly tell. I'm like, no, you're not from around here. I could tell you're not from around here. It's nothing personal, but I could tell you're not from around here. So my point is, a lot of these people, like Tissa, it seems like, she's going out to impress white Americans in some form or fashion, even if she's not aware of it. And I'm taking this light. I'm not trying to bash on her, but I should, because she tried to bash on him. But this is a vlogger, and so this woman, she went in and she talked about everything about Shannon Sharpe that was negative, but you left out the fact this chick was hooking at 19. Are we going to leave out the fact that, let me give you an example again for y'all in the back that's a little slow. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. Over 250 people in the chat. Make sure y'all hit that like button. And also make sure y'all hit up that Cash App, $STRINGERBELLA0. Also, we have products down below. Go pick up something, purchase something, support. I get a nice commission off that, so make sure you do that too. With this particular thing right here, she left out everything except for the fact that this girl was a prostitute at 19 years old, which led me to believe this older woman was out of touch with what's going on out here, actually. And that's what happens when you sit in your kitchen or you sit in your bedroom and you're vlogging. You're not like myself, who's right there at the scenes. You understand what I'm saying? And that's the difference between me. And so she went in and she was trying to destroy him about the fact that this girl was 19 and he was 50. He wasn't even 50. She kept repeating it like he was 56 at the time and made it look like he's older now. When in reality, Shannon Sharpe was probably like, she's 26 now, so he was like 49, 50 or 51, somewhere around there, whatever, which he could still get away with that if he wanted to. It's legal. Point is, if she wasn't hitting him off and she had already made the decision that she was going to be a prostitute at 19, then how the hell is Shannon Sharpe wrong when her choice would have been the same had she not even have met Shannon Sharpe? She still would have been out here shaking ass. You don't believe me? You say, oh, these poor, you're out of touch with current times. Bad Baby. Remember her? Catch Me Outside gal. Remember her? Y'all remember her? You don't get it? You're going to get it right now. Bad Baby. She was 18 years old. She's a rapper now, but she started out Jerry Springer, whatever, which they filmed here in my state. And so, not far from here. So, point is, they filmed Jerry Springer in this area. And Maury Povich and I forgot what this guy's name is. Steve Wilkos. Anyway, long story short, Bad Baby was on Maury Povich. She got real famous with this catchphrase, catch me outside then, or whatever, blew up into a rapper. At that time, she was 15, 16 years old. Everybody had known her publicly from the time she was like 15, 16, 17 years old. There was dudes waiting for her because she made an announcement. She said, I'm going to start an OnlyFans on my 18th birthday. That means there was dudes that, and you think everybody was 18? Nah, there was dudes over there that was 19, 20, 30, 31, 40, 41, 50, 51, 60, 61. You understand what I'm saying? A plethora of different men of different ages, of different races, different backgrounds, different cultural, different religious backgrounds they have. I don't know how many. They were all over there waiting to see Bad Baby. You still don't get it? Well, the point is, she made the announcement when she turned 18, and her decision was, I'm going to get on OnlyFans. And once she got on OnlyFans and she did that launch, how much money did she make within 24 hours? Oh, excuse me, an hour. Within an hour, she made $1.2 million. That means you think everybody that was coming to see Bad Baby on her 18th birthday, you really believe everybody was 18, 19, 20? No! These were men with credit cards. She had made a decision, and her decision was to solo, because this was before even Shannon Sharpe was going down. So if you really want to take it socially, you got to take it back at least 8 to 9 years now, definitely pre the pandemic. The pandemic really changed things socially, but even before that, it was already going into a swift change where the girls were starting to think different. Girls nowadays, they know they can hop online. I forgot what the numbers were. Hold on, I can look it up. I got my other device here. I'm going to tell y'all the percentage of women in the United States that are actually on OnlyFans right now. It's going to blow your mind. The average amount, I think it was saying something like almost 60% teetering around there of women in the United States are on OnlyFans. Not only are they on OnlyFans, but the average girl on it don't make nothing but $400 to $500 a month. So when we're talking about Shannon Sharpe and you try to paint this narrative to the sisterhood of the traveling big backs, usually that are women that are not married, usually are women that are heavily single, usually women that are in their last of their 30s or last of their 40s or last of their 50s, so usually have these conversations. They all want to shake down Shannon Sharpe, not because of the girl being young, because like I said, I'll bring it up again. This girl made the decision, just like Bad Baby made the decision when she was 18 years old, which is legal in this country, that she was going to be a prostitute. And some women, especially the ones that are over, I'm going to say the ones over 35, they can't get that because OnlyFans wasn't available to them. You understand what I'm saying? We got to take it back. OnlyFans to the American public, I think it's maybe, I don't know, maybe 5 years, 6 years in. It's not very long in. You know what I'm saying? As far as people, I don't know, making a commodity out of it. And then I would have to say in the past, well, no, I have to say the pandemic, then it slowed down when the pandemic was over, and then it picked back up because it's a website that I follow, and it gives me the numbers of all of them that rank everything else of the website. So this is where girls are going to make money. You understand? They're not worried about going to college. They're not worried about whatever. There's girls, and you'll find, whether you like them or not, Fresh and Fit. Fit, which is Myron. Myron's from right here in Connecticut. He's from New Britain. So he's a Connecticut dude, and he's down in Miami. He's been down there for a minute, and they have a show, and they have a round table almost every other night. And when they're having these round tables, you'll hear these girls on there, and there's another dude, too, I forgot what his name is, but he does the same thing. He does a round table with girls, and these girls, all of them, if there's not, out of 8 of them, there'll at least be 3 of them that are on OnlyFans. And they'll tell you how much they made on OnlyFans in a year. And to the average girl that's going to a 4-year academic collegiate college, they're going to look at it, they're going to be like, well, damn, my student loan, I had student loans, so I know this. My student loans were like, they were cheap though. Mine was like $47,000, something like that. My interest got up to maybe like $49,000. But my point is, if you in a doctrine dash, and I went for associates, so if you're in a doctrine area, you're going to end up spending probably like $120,000, $140,000 on college. Now, if you're somebody and you're sitting next to a table and across from a table from a girl that made $1.2 million on OnlyFans, and she made it in a very short amount of time, which choice are you making? Now, any girl with morals, she's going to pick the latter. No, I'm not doing that. But any girl that is subject to, like most of these girls are, especially if you're in the college ages, let's say 18 through 25, you're going to be like, yo, you know what, fuck it. It's better than hitting the club. I want to put in parentheses for you guys that are listening, this girl was already hooking. And she was probably thinking about it earlier on. Hooking. Yeah, the future is bleak, man. He says, Brian Llewell said, that's depressing as hell. The future is bleak. Yes, it is. Guys, 250 people in here. Make sure y'all hit that like button. Yeah, definitely. Ray, what's going on? Yeah, he said Cricket Man said, yeah, around 2002. I don't know who you are, but what you're saying is weird, and I don't like weird people. 60. They be broads on. Y'all ain't know that? Be broads on here and men out here. They be, listen, everybody want to talk about Shannon Sharpe's age, right? How the fuck old is Cher right now dating that 35-year-old? How old is Cher? Somebody tell me Cher's age in my chat room right now. Now, if we're going to talk about it, we're going to talk about it in essence. How old is Cher right now? How come Tissa Tails ain't talking about Tracy Ellis Ross, whose mama lived 20 minutes from where I'm at right now? Diana Ross lived 20, maybe tops 25 minutes from where I'm sitting at right now. You know what I'm saying? If I wanted to, I could walk to Diana Ross' house. Factory. This is Connecticut. I live in Connecticut. This is not New York. So, my point is, listen, man. Yes, there are older women out here, like Tracy Ellis Ross, who's 52, 54, something like that. Somebody correct me. 52, 54, something like that. And she just went on a podcast with the ex-president's motherfucking wife and said, yeah, I like dating younger dudes. You know how I am. I was like, what the fuck this why y'all like, what the fuck this I'm going to tell you why I say that. Out of all, listen, a lot of women got excuses why they ain't got a man. Hey, I got left with some kids. I can live with that. And even though I talk about the single mama thing, I can live with that. Some women's situations is different from other women's situations. Some women, they ended up dealing with jerks. Some women, they ended up dealing with losers. Some women, they ended up losing their man to the prison. I get it. My point is, and this happens in every race, please check the CDC and get your numbers. Please check the CDC and get your numbers, because a lot of these demographics y'all giving, like somebody came in my chat room one day and they said the funniest thing. They said, well, Black and Latin people are the most on welfare. I said, is that so? I said, sir, and I knew I took him for a ride. I said, sir, can you tell me the current population numbers for Latino Americans in America? And he ain't say nothing. I said, sir, now can you tell me the current numbers for the population numbers in the United States for Black Americans? Give me the demographics. He ain't say nothing. I said, you know what? I'm going to look them up for you. So I went over to my trusty CDC and I also went to the DOJ. Those are my two favorite websites. I went over there and I checked out and I said, oh, well, it says here, sir, since you are 61% of the population, it's funny to see that almost 48% of white population is on some type of government assistance. Now, I encourage you to go to the CDC and check that out for yourself. It's correlated by white Americans. It's published by white Americans. And the website that it's posted on is a culmination of white Americans who invented it. Shout out to Google. Ain't no niggas had no part in that demographic. That's y'all demographics. That's your demographics. And that's how a racial statement's a real statement. So I hate when people get demographic skewed, for one. Two, you got to look at this from a perspective of, why was this girl a prostitute? What was she running from? Nobody's asking the question of what happened in her home or whatever. Nobody's asking the question, why is it okay for Tracy Ellis Ross just the other day to say on the ex-president's podcast, president's wife's podcast, Michelle Obama's podcast, which that, oh my God, that shit is like watching paint dry. Y'all know, if you ain't never been here, I smoke cigarettes on camera, I curse a little bit. I'm a tri-state kid, more New England than anything. I lived on the shoreline for years, so, you know, we crack people in the head with bottles and we'll buy you a beer tomorrow. Shout out to everybody in NL, shout out to y'all, shout out to everybody in Niantic and all the rest of the area out there. Love you guys, I miss you all, man. But listen, back to the story. This girl, we're not asking the question, why does she want to get out the house and make the decision to become and get into the labor force of what she chose? I got a kid in front of me, so y'all follow with me. Why did she choose to get into the labor force that she chose? Ain't nobody asking that question. You know what they say? They say a lot of times with people, with girls especially, when they are abused, when they are taken advantage of, and I'm saying this from the perspective of a man that got sisters, when they are taken advantage of or whatever, a lot of times they get into promiscuous behavior. Now, this is a psychological thing that you can find in the DMC. I think it's the DMC, which is a complete illustration of all the psychiatric problems that you would have in the United States and internationally, for that matter, and how to diagnose them, what they're categorized as. The DMC. And they make one every year. Usually you don't need to update it no more than 5 years. The same symptoms are there. What happened to this girl? And I want y'all to ask the same question. What happened to this girl before she started prostituting? Is Shannon Sharpe to blame? Or is it something deeper than that? Because let me tell you something. I got a whole bunch of women that's passing me right now. Y'all can't see it on camera. I got women walk back and forth past me, back and forth past. And maybe it's just the area I live in. You know, I don't live down in Connecticut my whole life. So maybe I'll attribute some of that. But most of the girls that's walking past me, I can almost guarantee you they're not thinking about becoming a prostitute or their kids becoming prostitutes. So I'm asking the question, why did this Greek woman, because I'm pretty sure she's Greek, that's a Greek last name, her last name. Why did this Greek woman decide to become a prostitute, or why did Bad Baby decide to have an OnlyFans at 18? I'll tell you why, because they sold the money. But they don't realize this is the gift. Most of them broads, if you go look at the demographics, they ain't making no more than $400 a month, but charging $4.99 to bust down on camera. Chris Rock had a joke one time, but it was really a statement. He said, my only job as a father is to keep my daughter off the pole. He said that over 15 years ago. Now in 2025, your only job as a father is to keep your daughter off of fucking OnlyFans. And I mean that. I honestly mean that. I know a lot of people gonna think, oh, fellas, if you a brother, your job is to monitor your sister, little sister, middle sister, older sister, and keep her off OnlyFans. And broads ain't making nothing but $400 a month, and that stuff is gonna stay with her for life. I keep trying to tell people that don't say nothing on the internet you don't really mean it, because that shit is like a, I don't know, it's like herpes. It's with you for life. It's with you for life. There's copies of it. There's prints of it. People done passed it along. There's cloud folders of it. If they really are into you, this is what these people are going to do nowadays here online. Many of y'all know this. Ask that question, not only of her family, not only of the young lady, because now she's public, somebody introduced her name. That's why I said the other day when I was at the courthouse, I said, please, y'all stop laughing. But it's the truth. It's the truth here. And so when I see the situation from a lot of these women that are online talking about it, you're not looking at it from the perspective, you're making it from the perspective that this man was, how do you say, he was grooming her. But isn't that what Tracy Ellis Ross said the other day? Along sitting beside the ex-president's wife on her podcast? She said, I like dating younger men. And nobody had a fluster about that. Nobody said nothing. A couple of the fellas tried to say something, but I'm talking about the women. The women embraced it. I was on Anton Daniels' channel last night, cutting up in the channel. So, Anton, if you up here, shout out to you. I gave him an invite to come over here. I said, yo, I talk about stuff like you talk about it, but I ain't gonna talk about it the way you talk about it. And if any of y'all know, listen, let me tell you something. A lot of people get offended because I curse, right? And I grew up like that. I grew up around military men. So, you know, my uncles and all of them, they cursed. You know what I mean? All of them on my mother's side of the family. Everybody except for two of them, out of all her brothers and sisters, except for two of them, which is herself and her other sister, which is my great aunt. She passed away. My aunt, excuse me. All of them was military, multiple different branches, but all of them were military. Many of y'all know this. We were Shriners and grew up that way. So I remember going to the freaking temple with these guys when I was little. So, you know what I'm saying? And my cousins, you know what I'm saying? The girl ones too, who some of them became Shriners and still are. Lions Club. Shout out to Lions Club. My point is this, man. We need to start digging deeper, ladies. We start exposing and expressing our feelings as every woman is a victim. No, some of these women are money grabbers. And we busted out like 6 of them so far. So don't say, oh, this is imaginary, da-da-da-da-da. We thought Amber Heard had a hit out of, let me tell you something, I'm mad at Amber Heard to this day. Because she wasn't scorned the way she should have been. She's now comfortably, and she's now had a new baby. This is the same woman that took a deuce in Johnny Depp's bed and ruined Johnny Depp. You know how much I like Pirates of the Caribbean? Huh? Pirates of the Caribbean, dog? Was my that third one was kind of like muttering the line, but the rest of them was dope. But this chick ended Pirates of the Caribbean? You get what I'm saying? And so now it becomes a thing where you get online and you get these berating of men on a daily basis. It doesn't even matter what color they are. Every man out here is not a freaking assaulter. Every woman out here is not a freaking victim. Is that fair? Is that fair? I think that's fair. I think that's fair. And I think we've proven now online that almost six of these women have thrown false allegations, and they're getting tossed out of court. And if you want me to ignore that, I'll say I'm gonna ignore any type of avocation you have towards anything. I can't even take you seriously. I can't. Moving on with Shannon Sharpe. This girl presented a phone call today, and I'm gonna be fair. She presented a phone call after Shannon Sharpe had presented exchange that they had. And there was some real racy stuff on there. I mean, he's an adult. They were talking about doing all kinds of things, from race play to Shannon Sharpe talking about dog whistles or something like that. I don't know what he's talking about. I won't talk too much about that because you ain't flagging my channel for that. But my point is, Shannon Sharpe was out here getting the spree on. Can we be fair? Shannon Sharpe was out here like, yo. And then I linked into it like this. He was writing some really explicit stuff in those emails between him and her. And she was writing the same thing back. So they were participants. Unilaterally participants. Now, I don't know where everything went wrong and everything went left, but there's definitely somewhere where something went left, and it was 6 months ago. So I will give Buzbee this. Out of all things, one, you presented something. I can live with that. You said that you had mediation with him 6 months ago, and at that time he offered a settlement and she didn't take it. I think that was a setup, because I heard the same thing with Jay-Z. I think that's the setup point right there. We'll offer him something, because see, legally you have to do this as a lawyer. You don't have to do it, it's an option, but you could present that, or you could take a full jury to court. It's complimentary to present it to the person personally and send them out this letter. I forgot what the letter is called, but it's a legal notion for it. Present them with this letter, and then the letter says we want to have an intent of mediation. And so you sit down with them and you say, hey, well, you know, this is what she's accusing. Do you think we'll pay anything out? Blah, 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 blah. No, I ain't gonna go left. Hold on 1 second. Let me get these couple people out of here. Let's get Mitchell out of here. Trauma, yeah. Somebody in here. Yeah, I see him. I see him, Cricket Man. I'm getting him right now. Some dude talking about Viagra. What's going on, Y3? Per capita, there you go. Crazy. I was crazy once. They locked me in. Bye-bye. Yo, what's wrong with some of these men? Yeah, I know. Google takes 5 seconds to do it. They won't do it because they want to. She's 52, Jalen. Thank you. And Cher is 78. All right, I asked that question. How old is Cher? Because Cher is dating a guy right now that's like 30-something years old. Nobody's up in arms about that. See how that is? And that will make Cher, what, 50 years older? Nah, 40 years older than him? That's older than Shannon Sharpe stretch. Huh? That's older than Shannon Sharpe stretch that she was just pretending about. Listen, ladies, I know this is hard for you to believe, but men in their 30s, 40s, and 50s, they make their money when they get older. This is a proven fact. You understand what I'm saying? Some are different. But most men, they reach their peak when they're 35, 40, 50 years old. Some of these men have worked their whole entire life to get their bag up. You understand what I'm saying? They can't just go into a room, shake a leg, and get a job. No pun intended. So a lot of these men, when they get out, they ain't got kids yet. They don't have a family. They don't have a wife or whatever. And so they're looking for somebody that won't work. I'm not even going to hold you. I know that sounds real mean how I said that, but it's the truth. They're looking for a woman that her womb works, her ovaries work. Capiche? And so if you're like 50 and you're a woman, I mean, you can get vitro, all that stuff or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, you're paying out thousands of dollars. When I can just go get me a girl that's, I'm not going to say as young as Shannon went. I mean, I think if he was 50, probably would have went 32-ish. I could have, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's really muttering the line with that, but to each his own. But my point is, nobody's up in arms about Cher dating a 30-year-old. Nobody has said a word about Cher. We didn't watch Cher through the decades. Decades, way longer than Shannon Sharpe. The ladies have nothing to say about that. That's why I say these aggressions and these advocacies seem to be targeted around I don't know if you want to say a unilateral uprising of extreme feminists and misandrists that just are blanketed on the fact that all men are evil and all men are downright dirt. And I'm just like, well, wow, what's going to happen to the population if all women start thinking that? 10 years, 15 years from now, it'll be even more cemented into women's heads. And then we'll have the notion of, well, damn, ain't nobody having sex no more. Ain't nobody procreating no more. Now the population goes down. You see what I mean? This whole idea of how we exchange as men and women online, and I'm not even saying anymore it's racial anymore, because I think they're doing it to everybody. I think they're doing it just to men in general. I think there's different ways of marketing it, because I see white men and they going through the same thing with their extreme feminists. I see Latin men, they going through the same thing with their extreme feminists. Black men definitely go along with everything with their extreme feminists. And so you have to put in contextual at that point, okay, there's something going on here. And when you look at these comments of these posts that are adjacent to that, what you always find is a group of girls and all of them are different colors. So that even reinforces my fact even more. You understand? It's over for Patti LaBelle dating young as well. See, that's crazy to me. All these chicks are out here, Dante said real shit. All these chicks are out here dating younger men. We just heard Tracy Ellis Ross say she preferred dating all the older, younger men, was able to give an excuse of why. And like I said, I live right here in the area where her mother lived. Her mother lived 25 minutes from here, Diana Ross. You understand what I'm saying? Anybody know Old Greenwich, you know what I'm talking about. So my point is, it's like, there's definitely a skew of opinion when it comes to men versus women in the Shannon Sharpe thing. We have women that somehow or another give a pass to women when they are 78. I think Cher is 78 years old, he said, and they're dating a 34-year-old. And she's been dating him, and she's public with her dating. She kisses him in public. See, this Shannon Sharpe shit was done in the dark. I can at least say that much. Cher, on the other hand, Cher is out in public with the 30-year-old. So if Cher is 78, what does that make her? 45 years older than him, almost 50 years older than him? It can't be no less than 43, 44 years. So you understand what I'm saying? If we're going to talk about Shannon Sharpe dating a young chick, then we got to talk about motherfucking Cher being 78 years old dating a 34-year-old, and she open with it. She's in front of cameras kissing homie. She's at the premiere event kissing him. He's at our concerts. It's not hidden. You get what I'm saying here? It's not hidden. When we talk about Tracy Ellis Ross, this yesterday, and her mother, like I said, was 25 minutes away from me, Miss Diana Ross. God bless her heart. As well as Eartha Kitt, right here in this area. Eartha Kitt passed away here in Connecticut on her estate, a beautiful estate, may I add. As well as Captain Hepburn, who used to live out in Old Saybrook. And who else have we got in this damn state? David Letterman, Eric LaSalle. Can't forget Lisa Lampanelli out of Bridgeport. We got a lot of people to come out of this state. My boy, I'm sorry I got to that. My point is, the other day, if memory serves me correct, there wasn't that many women that wanted to talk about Tracy Ellis Ross. I was on Anton Daniel's show last night, and every girl in that chat room was giving Tracy Ellis Ross an excuse for dating younger men, but it seems to be in the chord of an argument when it's older men dating younger women, yet and still y'all give Cher at 78 a pass for dating a 30-something-year-old, where she's openly out in public with him. He goes to a concert, she kisses him, everything on camera. So y'all gonna have to help me with the symmetry, ladies. What's the difference here? Huh? Because with all mistakes and purposes, Shannon Sharpe is in shape. He looks youngish. I'll say youngish. You understand what I'm saying? But there's no club that Shannon Sharpe is not walking into, and there's not going to be 20, 30, and 40-year-olds in there trying to holler at Shannon Sharpe. You understand what I'm saying? Cher looks elderly. Respectfully, Cher looks elderly. You understand what I'm saying? So Cher, respectfully, I love Cher to death. We love her music. She's an icon. But come on, man. There's a double-edged sword here where it says, obviously, for a partition of women of all different races, evidently, that we can do this as women, but you can't do this as men. And the reason you can't do this as men, because traditionally you've done this, so what they're saying is, I want to do what you did. That's really what you're saying. So why don't you jump off a fucking bridge too? I did that last week. You like everything that men do, stand up and use the bathroom. You get what I'm saying there? Then the conversation starts to get a little bit more in depth for you, because what you start understanding is, hey, there's something wrong here. There's not only something wrong here, but in the case of Lisa, how you doing? In the case of, I can already say Lisa Lampanelli. In the case of Tracee Ellis Ross was on the ex-president's wife show. Talking about she like younger men, and all the ladies gave her an excuse. All the ladies gave her a pass. Blah, 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 blah. But you're not giving a pass for anybody else. I'm confused. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. Hit that like button for me. I appreciate it. It is too many people in the chat to have those few likes. Hit that like button for me. And also, make sure y'all support the Cash App, man. Listen, we going to be on the move this week. I got something for y'all. The reason I haven't been live, because honestly and truthfully, I forgot that Sunday was freaking Easter. I swear to God to you. And so I have my name. I want to shout that out too. Just give me just 2 seconds. I want to shout out my neighbors, because they came down to my house, bought me a plate, and had pernine, everything on it. Everything. El sabor latino, entonces la comida. And I was like, yo, for real? I'm talking about a big, huge plate. I ate some on Sunday, and then boom, my other friend came over. He was like, yo, come up to the house. I went up to his house or whatever. They had food. So I was like, oh shit. Then she wanted to give us cake, and then they had alcohol, and I was like, fuck the life. I was like, fuck the life. I was having fun. And so I got home around about 2 something or whatever. We had sat outside, and I think that's what it was. And my throat got like, So I said, well, I'll just do some uploads or whatever. I'll be with them on Tuesday. They be all right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm sorry I missed a day or two, but Easter was on Sunday, and I like, God must have made that happen like that, because I damn sure was going to go live with y'all. And I was like, nah. And then when I got home, I was just tired. Okay, let me get this one out here. Yeah, he talking primitive niggerish. Thank you very much. Y'all make sure y'all hit that Cash App though, man. We're going to be moving, and there's also products you guys can purchase or whatever. I get a commission on that, so make sure y'all buy some of those products. They're listed down below, but make sure it's paramount that y'all hit that Cash App if y'all want me to keep on doing what I'm doing. Tomorrow, I got something for y'all, whatever, if y'all want to do that. I can do it bright and early, but it depends on y'all's donations and everything like that. I want to shout out to the old gal. She donated $40. I want to give a shout out to, I think it's Madad or something with 2 L's. They donated $100, and it was somebody else. But shout out to them for real. Donovan Tolliver, what's so funny? Oh, Dwayne Tolliver was cracking jokes. Let me know if Dwayne Tolliver was cracking jokes. Oh, he wasn't cracking jokes. He was cool. I see his other comments. Yeah, he cool. So anyway, let me continue on. There was a I want to start with Shannon first. Shannon Sharpe introduced some text messages that went between him and this girl, and who chose for her lively profession to become a prostitute at 18. I'm gonna keep underlining that. You chose to become a paid prostitute, and you were paid. Shannon Sharpe had texts of you talking about how much money you were getting. So let's skip all that innocent girl shit. I'm not buying that. This is not some innocent little girl. This is a budding whore. And we gotta separate it. I know what a lady is, and I treat ladies like ladies. Men, y'all know for a fact, you hear a lady come in the room or see a lady come in the room, you know how to act and not treat her different than the rest of the riff-raff. It's different things that will tell you that. The way she dressed, it's not always the way she speaks. A lot of bitches out here is chameleons. But there's a lot of things that will let you know who she is or whatever the case may be. And there's a lot of language, there's a lot of dress that will let you know who the hoes are. Is that fair? And so what I saw with Shannon Sharpe introduced, as it got the first shot off, that's where he was smart. I saw that they had this ongoing exchange of sexual innuendos going on with each other for quite a long time. And so I can't say the things that were said there, but it was race play. It was some things about, choking and things like that, whatever, sexual stuff. And they both seemed to enjoy it. At one point in one of the texts, it says you're going to pay $25K for each cheek. She texted that. She texted that. But now you a victim. Now you a victim. Y'all taking this victim shit way too far. I know some motherfuckers are some victims. You know what I'm saying? Oh, I know some motherfuckers are some victims. I know some motherfuckers that were some victims. Some of them ain't here no more. You understand what I'm saying? Now, with that being said, let's move on to point B. Point B, they retaliated, Buzbee and her, and they put out their own little audio or whatever. In the audio, there's only one part where I know what Shannon Sharpe is saying, and I heard dudes say that before. If you say that one more time, fellas, how many of y'all in here have said this phrase? If you say that shit one more time, I swear to God, I'm gonna choke shit out of you. And don't mean a bit of it. How many guys in the chat room have said that to a chick once in your life? If you say that one more time, I swear to God, I'm gonna choke shit out of you. There ain't a man out here that's been married more than 10, 15, 20 years and they said that next to the woman he lays against every night. They were familiar with each other. And no, I don't like the way Shannon was talking. Shannon, you too goddamn big to be talking like that. I gotta take that away from Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe roll up on the average motherfucker. Give me the hammer. I am not fighting Shannon Sharpe by any means. Shannon Sharpe not only is a football player, but this dude, I don't know, like people say if you get up on him, you're gonna see how big he really is. You understand what I'm saying? So I ain't fighting no Shannon Sharpe. So what I'm saying is he a little too big to be talking like that. Now, I will take that away. But I don't think Shannon Sharpe and his big ass is gonna do anything like that. Men have said shit like that continuously. I done told chicks straight up and down, if you don't get the fuck away from me, I'm gonna throw this glass at you. Cause y'all know how to irritate men. That don't mean I'm gonna throw the glass at you. I'm just telling you that to stunt you out so you get the fuck away from me. And sometimes I have to add, motherfuckers respect violence. You don't believe me? We got 3 ongoing wars right now. Motherfuckers respect violence. On 3 different continents. All right? We got 3 different wars going on in 3 different regions in the world. Motherfuckers respect violence. And if you tell me they don't, then explain the wars you having right now currently. They've been going on, one for 2 years, another one for almost a year and a half. You want me to continue? Oh, all right. Oh, all right. Don't tell me motherfuckers don't respect violence. Some people, that's all they respect, or threat of violence. And today's women, as you see them jumping up in men's face trying to fight men. I gave y'all my own story where I had to hit a chick with a stun gun a couple weeks ago on the subway, and the police was smirking the whole goddamn time they were there. One of them cops damn near looked like he wanted to say, where'd you hit her? She was mad as hell because she thought for certain they're going to take him. No, they're not going to take me. You assaulted me. You understand what I'm saying? But my point once again, you're living in an era now where women are very violent. If you say something they don't like, someone will attack you. You understand what I'm saying? You got to know how to hold yours. You know what I'm saying? You got to beat her out. You know what I'm saying? But let her know, yo, bitch, don't try me like that. Don't try me like that. That boy, I heard that. They should have took the $10 million and walked away. I might, you know what? I might rename this podcast, I should have took the money. What was that movie? He said, I should have took the money. That might be what she ends up saying. I should have took the money. $10 million, man, please. Come on. Even with taxes out, that's still about 7.8 left. You understand what I'm saying? That's what she gonna be saying at the end. I should have took the money. And 10 million, make no mistake about it, 10 million is lowball. That's why I said when she went after this 50 million, it was because it was in line with what Shannon Sharpe had coming up. Let me explain that. Shannon Sharpe is through Disney. So they had some offer coming up for him. I'm not sure what it is, but they were gonna pay him a significant amount of money, upwards of $100 million, it's reported. And Of course, it's a contractual, so I don't know how much that breaks down to each year. They might have gave them a flat payout and then paid them in Whistling, because that's how it goes with residuals a lot of times. But anyway, regardless of the fact, somewhere along the line in this past 6 months, she got wind of that. And it went from this $10 million settlement upwards now into $50 million. And what I really thought when I first heard it, I said, this only sounds like a shakedown, but it sounds like the same thing Buzbee did to Jay-Z. It sounds like the same thing Buzbee was attempting to do with Puff. And I said, if you can't see the trajectory here, you can't see what's going on, I don't know what to tell y'all. I'm confused. You know, I will admit it, I'm not only confused, I'm lost here. I'm like, well, why didn't you take the 10 million if you were just looking for, because she didn't, see what I'm saying is, she didn't go to the police. She didn't make a report, as far as we know anyway so far, about Shannon Sharpe. But she had this mediation, which is customary, but still, like I said, it's a favor in the judicial process where they, you know, offer mediation. And in this mediation, he said, listen, I'll give you $10 million. And the reason he said probably give it $10 million because he had too much shit going on. Now, the problem with a lot of today's women, and I'm not talking about the real women, I'm talking about these thoughts, skeezers. For y'all old school motherfuckers up here, I be having some older dudes up here too, the skeezers, as y'all used to call them. And they exist. Huh? They exist. Men like that. You don't think so? Get any man that made over $50,000, right? Just $50,000, that's chump change. Get any man that made $50,000, right? Tell him, yo, I'm going out tonight, honey. You understand what I'm saying? He's a married man. There's going to be some chick that's going to try to seduce him at that bar, even if she see his wedding ring on. And his wife going, you know who she's going to blame? She's going to blame him because he should have never took his ass there. The point I'm getting at is, there's always a snake within environments. Just like it was in the Garden of Eden, there's always a snake in environments like that. Y'all give me 1 second, I'm going to share this. Don't worry, y'all, I'm going to keep rolling. Dada, what's going on, baby? Yo, y'all make sure y'all hit that like button, man. We got over 160 people in here. Y'all hitting the like button. And all right. So back to the thing. In this phone call that Buzbee presented, it was very short, and it's a moment in the phone call, and I don't want to play it because I don't want them to flag me, but there's a moment within the phone call between these two, Shannon Sharpe and her, and it's like it's this dead space. There's no audio, there's no conversation, there's no nothing. So I'm like, okay, this is long breath of dead space. So I think if she was really in danger, she felt she was in danger, she would have been hollering a lot louder than she was. You know what I mean? That's just how I feel. Now, moving on to my third point, which I think is an important point that a lot of people are not paying attention to as well. Why is it, and what is it, and me being half African American, I'm asking this question of Black American women specifically. I'm not talking about mi gente, entonces, las mujeres latinas, India, Africa. I'm talking about specifically African American women because they seem the ones being most toasting it. What is it that you don't like about your own men anymore? Can we have that conversation? Because there's something definitely there. Because listen, I was watching somebody else's show, like I said, I'm gonna say his name again, Anton Daniels, because I'm very fond of the brother's conversations, even though he don't think so. And I go in there a lot of times, I just want to see reactions from chicks, because sometimes you can tell a lot by a reaction. So I listened to a conversation he had last night about the same topic, and it was in the early stages of talking about this right here with Shannon Sharpe. And every last one of the girls in there did the same thing. And that's why I got the premise of my conversation. Because I noticed they talked about Shannon Sharpe and they talked about Tracy Ellis Ross. And they both had different opinions. With Shannon Sharpe, he was viewed as a predator. With Tracy Ellis Ross, she was just a woman. She was tired and she was looking for a good man and a boo-hoo-hoo and a bah-ha-ha. I'm like, the fuck, what? Crazy thought behavior, exactly. They don't love you. You love black men, they don't love you. Let me ask you a question. Stay right here. What's her name? Miss Smith. Miss Smith, let me ask you a question. Miss Smith, let me ask you a question if you're still here, and I do mean this. And I'm not going to insult you, I just want to know if you're still here. So type something in the chat room, I won't even bother saying it. The reason I asked you that question is because of the momentum, not only that I saw with Shannon Sharpe here, but the momentum that I've seen from several other different podcasts and broadcasts. And when ported with the same questionnaire between this one and Tracee Ellis Ross, they always side with Tracee Ellis Ross as if she's been hurt, she's a victim, or whatever, right? This seems to be the conundrum here. Now, my argument is, why is it all right for 78-year-old Cher to date a 34-year-old guy, but it's a problem from Shannon Sharpe, who was only 51 at the time? And even though, you know, had your little fake morals like a lot of people do here, what is it that you don't like about him dating a 19-year-old prostitute? This was a prostitute. This wasn't a girl that was on the way to dental school. This wasn't a girl that was on the way to her third shift at the local McDonald's. This was a prostitute, and like prostitutes do, and just like you saw in her exchanges that she had with this man, she was a prostitute. I'm not going to leave that out. There's so many people that want to get past that notion. Now, if girls love girls like they say they do, where was this girl's rearing arranged at? What household? That's the first question I got for you. Second question, what was the rest of the sisterhood, and where's the sisterhood's advocacy, before I shift back into black men? Where's the rest of the sisterhood's advocacy against girls being exploited on OnlyFans? Where is that at? See how it gets quiet in the chat room? See why I know none of the ladies want to say anything? Because there is a double-edged sword, and I keep proving. I said at the top of the year this year, I said this is going to be the year where a lot of girls are found out for who they are. Not the good women, the sorry, trifling women. Oh, there's no trifling women. Yes, the fuck there. There's always been trifling women. There's always been prostitutes. You don't believe me? Go read your Bible right now. You're going to read a lady in there by the name of Mary Magdalene. And she worked in a whorehouse. You understand what I'm saying, guys? What'd you say? Well, although Cher may be 80 years old, Cher may be a lost girl getting played by a young man. Now she a victim. Now Cher is a victim. You can't win with this. I literally said it, and you demonstrated it, ma'am. I appreciate it. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button if y'all don't see the connection here. I just sat here and explained how a lot of women are playing victim, right? And I just explained how a whole crowd, a loop of women have said it's okay for Tracee Ellis Ross at 54 to date younger men. And she says this on the ex-president's wife's podcast. Mind you, I want to underline that. But for Shannon Sharpe, at the time, who would have been 51, it's not okay for him to date the 19-year-old girl because she's innocent, because she's an innocent prostitute. I got you. And Cher, at 80 years old, 78 years old, who's still touring the world, mind you, she's being taken advantage of by this 34-year-old black man. Once again. What's up, Mom Bobby? Cher's being taken advantage of, but Tracee Ellis Ross is a hero. Is that what you're saying, Miss Smith? Is Miss Smith still there? Is Miss Smith still there? She ain't there no more? Oh, all right. I keep trying to tell y'all, these women, not all of them, but a high group of African-American women are destined on three things. One, they want some type of unilateral system that involves only women, which is sickening to me. And in compliment to that, they also want domination of men. You understand what I'm saying? My personal belief with this little secular batch of women I'm talking about. The other thing that I see, and I don't care what nobody else says, is the same thing that Miss Smith just demonstrated for you in this small little partition of women. I said to her, why don't you like black men? She said, I love black men, but you followed it up and tried to make Cher, a white woman, a victim of a black man. She didn't even know the dude that Cher was dating. That's why I didn't say it, because there's certain people that would have known and certain people that didn't know. And she had no opinion. And that's what's scary, guys. That's what's scary. The reason it was so easy for them to attack, in my personal opinion, Shannon Sharpe, was because of the ongoing things that were going on with Diddy, and the ongoing things that had been happening with Jay-Z, and the ongoing things that have been going on with Lil Durk, and the ongoing things that have been going on with Doug and TK. I think they just gave this kid like 80 years on top of 55 years. There's a painted picture here And just like I said, and I'll say it again, I saw this demonstrated on Tissa Tails. Tissa Tails said in one partition for her audience, I don't agree with Tony Buzbee, but you took up for Tony Buzbee's client. You took up for Tony Buzbee's client. So you might as well have taken up for Tony Buzbee, right, people? Is that fair? I'm telling you, they want to dominate you. All their moves show that they want to dominate you. And that just can't happen with me. You know what I'm saying? I had to talk to my homie AR, you know what I mean? And be like, nah, that can't happen. Because I see that happening too. Like Wonder Woman and the Juggernauts or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see it. My point is, the second type of women I find that are in this equation that don't like their own men are women that are bent on this secular motion. And I know a lot of y'all think this is crazy, but I've proven this. They did a study, and it was 1.2 million people, African-American, male and female. And y'all have heard me read this skew on my podcast before, and within that what's the name, 61% of the women within that study said that they'd rather date another woman, or they identified with the LGBTQ club. All right, now that's what they said. Now I can't do nothing about that. I'm just reading what the demographic said. That's what the demographic said, so that's what I'm going to go with, right? And I only not read them from UCLA, but I also read them from the CDC. So I took two sources and read them to you so you guys could get it, all right? Now, my thing is, if that's the skew of women that would prefer to be with another woman than their own men, that goes to show you the disdain that these women have had. And there's a nucleus and a genesis for this. Many of it comes, in my personal opinion, from bitter mothers. Now this ain't race specific, because a lot of these bitter mothers. MTV had a show for years called 16 and Pregnant. I ain't never seen nothing but maybe 2 or 3 girls on that show that were brown. How about y'all? Y'all see any more other girls on there that were brown other than that? So you get a lot of girls that come from bad mothers, mean mothers, or whatever, and they grow up with this disdain, and for some reason or another, I mean, a lot of these African-American women have put themselves in a place or ejected themselves and made it look like they are the new it girls. They are the girl that every man dreams of and wants. And I'm here to tell you, to this day, international is always going to be the blonde-haired, blue-eyed white woman. You understand what I'm saying? Until something else changes, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to think that. I'm not having a preference. And that's why I always notice in their conversations, like last night, they were bouncing on Shannon Sharpe for dealing with a white girl, what they thought, but most of the culture don't know that she's Greek. That's a Greek last name. I know a Greek last name when I hear one. Half of this, 15% of the state here is Greek. You understand what I'm saying? I got a friend right now, Papadonasio. You understand what I'm saying? So my point is, there is something there. Because these women last night, they were going in on the fact that the woman was white. I've heard other black female podcasters go in and point out the fact that the woman is white. What does that mean? And what you white ladies should realize, when you hear a lot of these women out here that are African American, that all of them, of course, but there's a high majority of them that feel this way. And they always bring up when they're talking to a man of color about white women. And I'm like, well, maybe if you were a nicer person, you wouldn't have to worry about white women. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. Being a nicer person means, last night when I watched Anton Daniels' show, when I watched 3 other shows covering it, and I mentioned Tissa Tails earlier, because she was just irate, and her whole disposition was defending this girl. She didn't know what this girl had as evidence. She didn't know what this girl had done. She had pointed out the fact repeatedly, like she wanted to point out repeatedly, and each time she kept on mentioning Shannon Sharpe's age, she added 2 years to it, and she presented to her audience, in my opinion, that Shannon Sharpe was 56 and she was 19 at the time, when in fact, Shannon Sharpe was like 51. She's 26 now. So she's 26 now. So what is that? He was like 49 when he saw her. He was like 49 or 50. You understand what I'm saying? So Shannon can still hit legally, especially if she's a prostitute. Girl was a prostitute, bro. So if he's paying his bread or whatever, why'd you put yourself in a position to holler at Shannon Sharpe? Shannon Sharpe is a well-known bachelor. No, there is a hatred, and we need to start talking about it, that black American women have this disdain for black men to date white women, but they're always in the face of white men. They go and get blonde weaves to look like the epitome of the most Aryan white woman. You understand what I'm saying? I've dated white girls, Italian girls, Greek girls. Not all white women have fucking blonde hair. In fact, many of them don't have blonde hair. More of them don't have blonde hair than do have blonde hair. You understand? The real nucleus of this conversation is these women, not all of them, but there's a high partition of these women that are mad and upset because Shannon Sharpe decided that he was going to spend his hard-earned bread that he'd have made at the NFL, just like Rick Ross said, you wasn't with me shooting at the gym. See, I believe a lot of these women, and I know this from being 17 years in the music industry, and this goes for all women. A lot of women like their men pre-made. Like you done already made it. You done already got the bread up or whatever. Now she want to come in. Nah, you want to shoot with me at the gym, I don't want no behalfs of you. It's like they said in Hustle and Flow. Remember that scene in Hustle and Flow when she brought him the lava lamp? What'd he say? She closed that door. He said, now that's a bottom bitch for you. He said, that's a bottom bitch for you. He meant that with his soul. You see what I'm saying here? Miss Smith, you know what? I'm cool and everything. I don't like doing arguments. But when I ask you to react on something and you don't react on it, I already start looking at you side eye. I asked you a question and the whole chat heard me ask you the question and you waited to the moment you wanted to reply, which is also trickery used a lot of times by black women in these conversations. No, if we're going to have a unilateral conversation, that means you respond to things I ask you, but don't demand that I respond to things you ask me by chatting them in the chat. I find that this like an insult. You're insulting my intelligence. You're insulting. So I'm going to ask you again. Do you or do you not agree, Miss Smith, that there are black women that have a high disdain for their own men? Do you or do you not believe that? Answer the question. Answer the question. That's all I want you to do. Just answer that question. Let me get this one out of here. You don't ask me no questions. I'm not your nigga and fuck your mother. Now answer the question, Miss Smith. You don't know. She said she doesn't know. I hear you. I want y'all to take a good look at Miss Smith. Miss Smith is a fraud. Because Miss Smith knows, and she puts shrugging shoulders, like she doesn't know and she's not aware that there's a disdain for African American men in this country, that she cannot pick that up. She cannot fit into that. That is the crux of your problem right there, man. Because you have women, a group of women, for some reason or another, that will point out everything that you do wrong, demonize you, but yet and still won't point out what the collective few in their branch and their gender do out here. You understand what I'm saying? I don't care what you disagree with, but don't write anything else in my chat room before I block you. All right? Don't write nothing else. If you can't answer the question I asked you the first time or whatever, that means you're not a civilized person. You're a manipulator. You asked a question that you wanted to ask and was waiting for me to answer your question when you didn't answer my question. I find that dishonest. I find that manipulative, and I don't like shit like that. Listen, make no mistake about it, ma'am. You're not talking to somebody that's in Nebraska. You're not talking to somebody that's in Ohio. I'm in the New York City tri-state. All right, so if you in one of those little local areas and you trying to run that little flim-flam shit on me, that reverse psychology shit, take that shit that way. You understand what I'm saying? Take it back over there in the Bamas where you be at. Don't run that shit on my channel. I'll call you out on it. You're going to answer my question with a question. I don't like shit like that, bro. I don't trust people like that. And that's why I tell you, that's a demonstration of what's out here. She's not the only woman I've asked that. I've asked multitude of women that question. And they can never answer it or they avoid the question. I know the answer to the question. You chicks are in full throttle, whether it be Shannon Sharpe, whether it be Young Thug, whether it be, what's the name, whoever. And the men, they're involved in it too. The sons of single moms, they involved in it too. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of them, not the ones that had their uncle around or, you know, dad came on the weekend. I ain't talking about you guys. I'm talking about the ones that were solely raised around their mom's sisters. They had sisters, and all thing they know is the girls. They got allegiance to the girls. This is a whole branch of men that are like this that are coming up right now. And a lot of people are not paying attention to it. I'll give you a perfect example. Go look at the military enrollment right now, and you'll understand exactly what I'm talking about. There are more women enrolling than they are men. And I say this shit all the time. You look quarterly, there are more women showing up at the recruiters than there are men. Men are not even showing up at the recruiter no more. So if y'all don't get what I'm saying, you don't get what I'm saying, that's fine. My point is here, these men are soft nowadays. And they'll side with women in hopes of getting some vajay. They don't have any type of loyalty towards other men or whatever. And I found this time and time again. That's why y'all hear me say things like, hey, I don't really, rock with too many, you know what I mean? The reason I say shit like that is because of your simple fact of what you're demonstrating to me, what you're showing me. And what I see a lot of men siding with nasty, belligerent, no good having, no what's the name type of women. And it just confuses me. You know what I'm saying? Because not only that, they do it in a brown-nosing fashion. Yeah, I'm with you, I support you, and a blah, 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 blah. But really they don't. The only reason they there is because the hopes of getting the vajay. There's someone want to date. Hey, can I get your number? Man, listen, y'all be seeing these podcasts, right? And what y'all don't pay attention to is suddenly some of these people will keep the cameras rolling after the podcast. These dudes, they'll be trying to talk to the chicks that showed up at the podcast. Now tell me I'm lying. They'll be hooking up, having babies with the chick that showed up at the podcast. Huh? I'm telling a lie here? Huh? I can't hear y'all. Oh, all right. What's going on, Lady Sparkle? Original Outlaw, what's poppin'? Springfield, Mass, what's up, man? I was just up in the Heartbeat just a minute ago, man. Up there, what's your name? For real. Is Miss Smith still here? Let me get her up out of here. I don't like that bitch. Yeah, I don't like that bitch. I ain't like that bitch. I'm sorry if I said that. I ain't like that bitch. That bitch is a fraud. That bitch is a fraud. I sat there and asked her a question. She couldn't answer it. Then she come back talking about Cher as a victim because Cher's multi-million-dollar old ass is out here on stage at 78 dating a 34-year-old. Yet we sitting here having a conversation about Shannon Sharpe, who was engaged with a then 19-year-old prostitute up until the age she was a 25-year-old prostitute. And nobody wants to put in contention, including black women, that this girl was a prostitute. Boo, hoo, hoo. She was a prostitute. That's called choices. Responsible women know about choices. Ain't that right, ladies? Ladies, right now, if you enrolled at a college, do you think the best thing for you to do is go out here to the club and bust down after the club is over, unprotected? Why? Because you might get pregnant, and that might mess up your whole college journey, right? Right. Ladies, do you think it's responsible to go out here and have baby after baby after baby after baby by Raekwon, Naquan, and everybody else, right? And then turn around and be like, I demand that a man make $100,000 a year. For who? You and your 3 little motherfucking bastard kids? No offense to any single moms out there. But that's how men look at it nowadays. And these women have made it that way. There was times when men, I'm going to say even 10 years ago, men would have been faithfully involved in stepdaddyism. You understand what I'm saying? Shit, I've been a stepdaddy probably 6-7 times my goddamn self. I was on my 6th, before I started dating girls with kids, I was probably on my 6th set of stepkids. Word up, I was on my 6th set of stepkids. And 3 of them, to this day, still contact me. It'd be like, yo, I did this, I did that. I'd be encouraging them. Because I known them since they was kids, you know what I'm saying? And even though I don't talk to their mothers no more, whatever you want to have, you or whatever, I'm still tight with them. They'll come on here and tell you that. They'll come on here, and matter of fact, I'll get them on here to tell you that. Like, y'all don't even understand. That's why I be getting mad sometimes, where I be like, damn, ain't nobody financially supporting the kid. Y'all don't see my moves? Y'all don't see what I be doing? Y'all can't hit the like button at least? Get some ballers up in here, you know what I mean? So, I really, based off all these podcasts and the reaction I see versus Shannon Sharpe, versus when I bring up the fact, and you saw that woman right here in the chat room, she didn't even want to acknowledge the fact that Cher is 78 years old, dating a 34-year-old. But Shannon Sharpe, we need to stay on him, though, because he was dating a 19-year-old prostitute who was asking 50 grand, 25K for each cheek. That's what the bitch wrote. I don't know. That's what she wrote. That's what Shannon put out. That's all I'm saying. That's what Shannon put out. Can we agree on that? That's what Shannon put out. And the shit he put out. That's all I'm saying. This was a prostitute. This is a prostitute. A girl that elected at the age of 18 or 19, she said, I'm going to get out here in these streets and I'm going to bust down to do something strange for a piece of change. And motherfucking women is online right now. Oh my God, I can't believe it. She was only 19. Well, say something about Cher, because Cher is 78 fucking years old dating a 34-year-old. Say something to Tracy Ellis Ross, who just the day before this said that on the ex-president's wife's podcast, mind you, she says, well, I like dating younger men, so that shit's all right, but a 19-year-old prostitute up until 25, if anything, she got financially rich from Shannon Sharpe. Her mama's not stopping her when she turns 18, that's obvious. Her father's not stopping her when she was 18. Her father wasn't stopping her when she was 19. Father, mother wasn't stopping her when she was 20. Father, mother wasn't stopping her when she was 21. Father, mother, has anybody looked up, is she still hooking? Is she still hooking? Has she ascertained Tony Buzbee's services for representation, and she's still under the queue of being a call girl? That's all I want. Can somebody find out that information with y'all good Scooby-Doo asses? Find that out. Is this chick still hooking or not? Because if she's still hooking, which I'm pretty sure she is, because she definitely ain't using that money that Shannon Sharpe paid her to bust down, is she still prostitute? You see how 20 people jumped out the chat room when I said that? Because they don't like to be hit with reality in today's society. They want to be hit with fake shit. If we're going to do our double downs on Shannon Sharpe, I need some more information on this otherwise ghost chick. Shout out to the motherfuckers that got a name and put it out there. Yo, you hoes ain't going to be sitting out here no more accusing people. I want to remain anonymous. That's what she said, right? Good luck with that shit. Make sure y'all double tap the screen, hit the like button, double tap the screen, hit the like button. Guys, also make sure you hit that Cash App. It's very pertinent y'all do that. I'm going to take care of y'all this week, man. I'm trying to tell y'all some things going on. Double tap that screen, hit the like button, hit that Cash App, or go buy some products down below so I can reach out and get that commission. $ STRINGERBELL80 is pinned down below. You know what I'm saying? Because I need more men to support my channel if y'all believe in all this shit that I'm saying. The way y'all gonna do that, see, the women financially support each other. That's what I'm trying to tell y'all. That's what I'm trying to lay out for y'all. And shout out to them 5 worthless niggas that probably live with their girlfriend that just dropped off when I said that. But the truth remains is, the reason these women are dominating many of y'all, because you're too prideful to take your financial strain and put it with someone and say, okay, let me put this guy out here, let him accelerate or whatever, because I see he's speaking for us. I've been talking the same way for 5 fucking years and I never change. I've had people donate $1,000 to me before. I never change. And I'm not going to change. I'm always going to see things from a perspective wider and larger than things are. And I'm trying to tell you guys, the way these girls are getting ahead, and I've noticed this, is they have a buddy system for one. The men in Black America, they don't have a buddy system. These niggas rather walk. I've had 3 or 4 black guys walk past me. I've had white people walk past me, give me a head nod to speak, because they hear what I'm saying. The black dudes, they walk past me, grilling like we on the block, like we about to shoot it out. Your son is going down, the cops behind me. You know what I mean? You got to change that mentality, because what these women are going to do is going to become a point 5, 10 years from now where they're not going to want to date you at all. If you look at a lot of the young girls, and I see them, like when I'm just in the hood, shit like that or whatever, down in New York, you see the kids, they out of school at different times. There's always kids around, you know? And you'll see these girls, I noticed this, you'll see these black girls or these Latin girls, they always walking with a white boy. And they got a crush on them. There's nothing wrong with that. But it's the, how can I say it? It's the amount of how many I see. And then the thing that always follows is they have some disdain if you walk past them, or they'll try to overly go out of their way so you'll pay attention to them. You understand what I'm saying? It's really some sick shit, because I'm like, this is what you're embedding in your child's mind, that it's okay. Like, it's one thing if it's okay to date interracially, whatever. I don't have a problem with that. I'm partaking in it myself. But it's another thing if you're projecting that because you think there's some type of wins at the end of it. You understand? And I particularly don't like it when you have people that are not per se from American culture and they partake in this type of shit. And I've seen a lot of Latinos, especially coming here now. There's some Latinos, like, let's just keep it real. There's some Latinos that in front of black people, they want to act black. In front of white people, they want to act white. And then there's no, like, middle ground. You understand what I'm saying? I think I perfected the middle ground as far as walking between both. You know what I mean? I can talk to you in English and I can spit to you in Spanish. It's nothing. You know what I'm saying? But por la gente latino, tú sabes, correctamente, tú sabes, en la mente ahí, tú sabes, tú hueles un querer un blanco. El blanco americano, entonces por la familia, por sus niños, por la madre, entonces sabes, en este cabrón no sabe inglés. Hablo español, yo siempre. Come on, nigga. Oh, Vivica Fox. Oh, she's, oh God, she's done. Wow, I can't believe you wrote something like that. Yo, doggy, you definitely getting reported. Hold on one second. I had somebody write something disgusting in here. Yeah, you definitely getting reported and you getting blocked. Hold on, let me get this punk out of here. Yo, if you're gonna be I don't mind you being a troll, but don't be no troll to be saying like gross shit. Like, that was disgusting. Man, it's crazy. And it's always men. You understand what I'm saying? That's why it's hard to defend y'all niggas. But anyway, back to what I was saying. The women, they stick together financially. They stick together opportunity-wise. If you get a woman that opens up a business, most of the time she's hiring other women. The men are not doing that. The men, instead, they'll open up a business. They want to hire a whole bunch of chicks. Or the men, when they open a business, they want to relegate it to their family or just a few people they know or whatever. You have the right to do that. But what I'm trying to tell you is a race, as far as like, let's talk gender economics, right? Y'all never heard of that? Gender economics. As far as, there are gender economics, like a man makes more than a woman, typically in America, right? However you focus that and trust that. But at the same time, right? Hear me out here. You have men, and I've seen this more and more and more, and this is why I'm calling on Black American men and Latin American men. You have to start supporting guys more. Because what you're going to have is in the next 2 or 3 years, you're going to have so many of these girls that are financially supported, and some of these girls are unjustifiably financially supported. You should not be financially supported if you sit in your bedroom, I don't know, 30 days out of a 31-day month, or 31 days out of a 31-day month, and just be able to blah, 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 and nobody ever take a contention. How does this person know all this and they always sitting in their bedroom? You see what I'm saying? And so then it becomes quite confusing because you're like, well, how is it that, because the majority of a lot of my viewers are men. This is why I'm pointing this out along with the Shannon Sharpe thing, because I see a couple of men trying to join the bandwagon and bash Shannon Sharpe on partake for women. You understand what I'm saying? Not knowing what's going on with Shannon Sharpe. And I know a lot of you other guys have seen that too, but just listen to me. It doesn't just have to be me. But you guys, especially the ones that be claiming in the chat rooms, oh, I make this amount of money, I do this. It shouldn't be nothing for you to drop $100. I just had somebody drop $100 the other day or whatever. It keeps the mess moving, because as y'all can see, I'm always on the move. I don't sit at home in my bedroom doing podcasts. I don't sit in my kitchen doing podcasts, talking about people I've never been around in the state I've never been in. I don't do that, but y'all allow women to do this on a nightly basis. Gossip, berate, tear down, or whatever. And none of you guys say anything about it. Instead, y'all want to sit down with the chicks. What can we have a conversation about? They don't want to have a conversation with you because they are financially such in an epilogue that they don't have to have a conversation with you. And the point, and when you get this, the better off you'll be. So I'm not telling you guys don't date Black American women or anything like that or whatever, because that's just ridiculous. Whatever fits for you, right? But what I am telling you is there's a great portion of them that want to see your destruction. A great portion of them that are misandrous. A great portion of them that are extreme feminist. And the way they execute those beliefs is bashing and piling on men on a nightly basis without all the facts being out. This is why I didn't go live about this last night. All the facts wasn't out. You understand what I'm saying? Or I have to keep doing everything over and no. I knew there was layers to this. I said, let me just, you know what I mean? Watch the cake pop up and we'll find out everything that's going on. So like I said, you know what I'm saying? Man, if you're a real dude, hit up that Cash App right now. We're going to be moving tomorrow and another day this week. You know what I'm saying? But I got something for y'all, whatever. But I got to get respected on here, man. You know what I'm saying? And I want to bring y'all some better stuff. And there's a lot of stuff that I could bring y'all. And I show y'all partitions of it. And y'all like, okay, I get it. You know what I'm saying? So Make sure y'all hit the Cash App, $STRINGERBELL80. That's just for the real dudes. That's just for the real dudes. If you a dude right now that's sitting up, living in your girlfriend's house, or you a dude right now that monthly, just play PlayStation 5 all month, that message wasn't meant for you. You understand what I'm saying? If you send your girl off in the morning and the first thing you do is go sit in front of the TV, that message ain't for you. That message is for the cats getting money, the shakers out there, whatever. I need some financial help to make some shit happen on this channel. And that can only happen through the support of other men. Now, if I see men in here and they're dipping out of the conversation and you done heard everything I done said, you done liked everything that I done said, or whatever, you don't want to fuck with the real spill, but y'all want to go over and donate to women, that's a problem. And that's when and you have to separate you have to extract yourself from that situation and be like, okay, these particular men, I'm never going to get that out of them. It's like it's dead on arrival. You understand? So that's why I say, when I say these things, like, the reason it's so easy for these women to go in, because they know it's a financial support system. Any woman that goes online tonight and talks negative about Shannon Sharpe is getting donated to. Trust me on this. Trust me on this. I'm gonna wrap this up here. I'm gonna go for about 20 more minutes. I ain't getting no support, so we're gonna wrap this up. Yeah, DJ Pablo, that's pretty much what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, the other day, I was at the courthouse where Diddy was having a shot. They still say that. A lot of these dudes, they hate on me. You understand what I'm saying? We've got certain vloggers that are out here trying to give a directory of who I am and explain to crowds who I am, never met me a day in their life, And so they take the tapestry of me working for that company for so many years, and I say to them, my response is, if he's guilty, then the court will have him. If he's innocent, then we'll have him back. That's my answer to that. And my other answer is, if you look at me weird for being like, I'm in this point, and I like how a lot of people doppelgangered off of my words, and it was like, yo, you're playing the place of neutrality now. No, those were my words. And there's a lot of people that come to that's another thing that pees me off too, because I get so many views. I get a lot of people that come to my podcast, and what they'll do is they'll take my words and regurgitate them on their pages and act like it's their words. Like, I heard a chick the other day. She was like, isn't that suspicious? I said, shorty, I just said that's Saturday on my podcast. So that means you watch my podcast on Saturday and pick that up. And she's done this like 6 or 8 times, because up where she live at, there ain't really nothing going on up there. That's why I be trying to tell you, there's slang, everything else or whatever. I got clips where I can match them for multiple different vloggers that have done that or whatever. So, I ain't here to crush on nobody or nothing like that. I'm just here to stay out of fact. Make sure you take up for Shannon Sharpe, for one. You know what I'm saying? It's something that over-equivalently says, hey, he's guilty. Jury's still out right now. That's one thing I feel. 2, I would say this. I would say, even when it comes to Pup, look at how Jay-Z walked away. You understand what I'm saying? And I told y'all that. I said, this shit ain't gonna stick. That shit don't even make sense. And I went up there, whatever. I've been on locations at these places. If you go down below, you'll see that. Let's go to my live section. Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. Hold on, let me see if I can get a few other people in here. Just give me 1 second, guys. I'm sharing this. I'm the type, I really don't stay here too long if I'm not getting, so y'all have to forgive me, but I see so many different vloggers. I have people coming to my podcast, tell people don't donate to me. People have behind the scenes, members only. I caught a vlogger the other day that know damn well who the fuck I am and went on her podcast to try to, you know what I'm saying, take you down or whatever. So you get a lot of these vloggers that work in teams and stuff like that. So it's sad or whatever. As I'm sitting here talking about that, you notice that my support and my numbers are going even more down, right? So that lets me a chance to just go ahead and end this real quick and let it go. Yeah, I don't even care. That billionaire brunch fucking chatter. Yeah, I mean, like, listen, man, there's a lot of people, how can I say, there's a lot of people in the music industry that know goddamn well who I am, been around me or whatever. And when I found out, I saw when Puff, he got arrested, a lot of motherfuckers went quiet. I had somebody I reached out to. I was like, yo, let me hold this so I can up, because I got to get some new equipment. I need a whole bunch of things or whatever. And this come from me spending my savings, believing in believing in my subscribers, and I just don't have subscribers that donate. My subscribers rather not donate to me because they find that they're insulting me. You understand? Or doing it on how can I say? What do you say here? The doing under the leadership of many other different podcasters. So it is what it is, and that's for my position with Puff. And I'm just like, I play the part of neutrality. If he's guilty, then the courts will label it that, and they will adjudicate it and handle it like it should be with their sentencing. But if he's not guilty, you understand what I'm saying? Which I'm hoping and I'm thinking, it's going to be something louder than that, and the people will still hate him after that. So yeah, I'm not just how can I say it? I'm not excited for Shannon Sharpe. I'm not excited for Dirk. I'm not excited for, if you don't keep walking with your dot head ass and get the fuck out my face. And don't ever make the mistake to think you more American than me, motherfucker. Y'all excuse me for a second. Some motherfuckers getting a little too comfortable. And that was one of them moments. You not like us, motherfucker. Motherfuckers over here throwing their head up in the sky and contributed one goddamn thing to America but take its resources. They got the nerve to walk around like they somebody special. Motherfucker, who are you in your country? That's a deduction right there. Yeah, I don't play that shit. If anybody know me, I don't play that shit. Nah, I don't play that shit at all. Listen, I ain't got nothing against immigrants, obviously. My father's an immigrant, but the immigrants that you have now, they're very disrespectful people. Like, really disrespectful. And when they see somebody that's brown, like this nigga that just walked past me, he was browner than me. Like literally blacker than me. You understand what I'm saying? And so you get these dudes that walk past with the chest out or whatever. Motherfucker ain't never made over $20 an hour in his whole entire life, but their low self-esteem has to have them do that. So most of the time when you get a man that walk past you talking loud on his phone, or he won't walk close to you, this is the symmetry of these men now. So you get a lot of these, how can I say it? We getting it a lot in the tri-state when you get these men that are brown, that for some reason or another, they walk past men of color that historically have been in this country. Because even though I'm half Cuban, my mother's Black American. And they look like they better than somebody. I'm like, how? What the fuck? Were you running for mayor? Like are you running for governor? Why should I be interested in you again? Oh, that's right, you're not. So who the fuck are you? You know what I'm saying? The fact that you walk past somebody and you're going to get on a fucking train is even more insulting. Motherfucker, I live here. You going to get on the train. Now take your bum ass back to New York where you belong and get the fuck out of my face. That's why I said something true. And by the looks of you, you might be first generation American at best. So who the fuck are you to walk? Let's talk about your country and what's going on over that motherfucker. You ever seen the videos when they making Indian street food? Yeah, you want some shit to laugh about that shit. I look at when you try to crack it, first thing I ask is where you from? And then the second thing I do, I go look up their GDP. And if your GDP is all bit up, but you over here with your chest out, motherfucker, choices. I would never in my life poke fun at another Cuban or Dominican or Honduran. Ever. So that shit is strange to me. That nigga was blacker than me. This was an Arab dude. He was blacker than me. But when they get it confused, they be thinking because they got straight hair, they different. No, you just a nigga with a tan. You a nigga. You think your DNA go more with Anglo or it go with African? Come on, 20 questions. So they got them over. They get, see what happens is, let me break it down for y'all real quick for y'all that don't understand. It's kind of like with the same Shannon Sharpe shit. I'm going to go into this. Have y'all seen that phone call? That video with the Arab woman that's sitting in the car and she's repeatedly calling this black woman a nigga over and over and over and over and over again? Did you not peep how black that woman was? Then nobody, if you wouldn't have told me, I would have thought she just had some Indian in her. The motherfuckers you say that, she had some Indian in her. That looked like a black person to me. And based on the fact of hair, and I hate to say it like this, You don't have one of the best of cultures. See, most of Middle Eastern culture is influenced by the British. The British were there for, I don't know, 150 years plus. They had this thing called the British West Indian Tea Company that was developed to trade spices and teas with the Caribbean, specifically Jamaica and West Indies. Many people know this. If you're British, if you're somebody that's British or from England in my chat room, shout it out and let them know what you're talking about. So these people have been indoctrinated as far as colonialism way deeper than any American ever has. Like, trust me on this. Her Majesty and the King have indoctrinated this motherfuckers to the point that they actually think they are something different. And they'll get in the midst of white folks and they'll just brown nose. But they get around you and they want to act slick and act like I'm like, you're not in the lead of our society. Nobody pays attention to your fucking music except for you. Nobody pays attention to you socially. Like, I'm trying to get, what part am I missing here? You know what I'm saying? And you're as black as me. I'm looking at you. And I thought it was a nigga. I ain't gonna lie. I thought it was a nigga. I said, who's this nigga looking at me? Oh, this is an Arab dude looking at me. No offense to anybody that's from the Arab background. But y'all gotta stop that shit. We see the videos with y'all having that shitty street food in India. India is so dirty that they have to did y'all know this? In Bombay, India, the water there is so saturated with filth and outhouses that outhouses even are archaic. You understand what I'm saying? Like, they have literally what looks like bathtubs, and it'll be like 4 of them or whatever. There'll be like a steel roll against them or whatever. This is something that you see. You can go right now and look for yourself. But they have a truck that comes in and brings them in fresh water almost twice a day because the water is that polluted in that country. It's sickening. So I'm like, I don't know how the fuck you running around with your chest out in the air. Or like Bengali people too, same thing. Black as the ace of spades. Run around. I'm like, what is your country's GDP right now? Like, you have to ask these questions or whatever because, I don't know. It's just, I have very, very low tolerance for people that are arrogant and belligerent in society, and you benefited off of U.S. Customs and U.S. gratitude or whatever the case may be, but haven't given anything back. You see what I'm saying? So who the fuck are you to run around with your chest poked out? You better be humble. You should be humble. What y'all say it up here? Stop talking down on immigrants. We players, bro. Mira, tú sabes, la gente latino ahí, tú sabes, pronto. Yo respetando esta gente immigrants. Pero tú sabes, la gente de los immigrants es toda la jíbaro, jíbaras, tú sabes, pero la campo, Ecuador, Perú, Guatemala, tú sabes. Yo no sé la gente aquí. Tú sabes, claro en su mente, no. Yo no sabe esta gente aquí, yo sabe la puertorriqueño, yo sabe la República Dominicana, yo sabe la gente de Honduras, yo sabe la gente mexicana. Entonces, sabe, esa mi gente aquí esa es la gente por muchos años. Entonces, sabe, esa cabrón ahí esa es toda gente, nueve. So, esa es diferente, pana. Esa es diferente porque la gente ahora es las ricas, no respetando. Tiene la droga, tú sabes, no tiene la mujer o la esposa, tiene la cabeza, el dio y el dio. Tú sabes, no, I'm talking to somebody in my chat. Okay, nigga. So let's not, okay. Tú eres latino, no, tú sabes, no claro. Esa es diferente. Oh, you Ukrainian? Oh, why your name DJ Pablo if you're fucking Ukrainian? That don't even make sense. Well, no, that actually does make sense because they have Spaniards that live in the Ukraine. I forgot about that. They have Spaniards that live in the Ukraine. They have Spaniards that live in France. There's a whole section for Latinos in England. A lot of people don't know that either. That's your name. That's what's up, though. But it's love, though. Make sure you donate, nigga. Kendrick Lamar, he might be. Yeah, that's I don't go in on them unless you try to go in on me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm half immigrant, so I know the difference. And like when I get immigrants like that, I'm like, yo, nigga, in your country, who are you? You know what I'm saying? Like that's the main question right there. A lot of motherfuckers can't answer that question, so that's why I went in on that. Oh, you 15? Oh, you gotta get the fuck up out of here. No, we don't have no 15-year-olds in here. Peace, DJ Pablo. I'm glad you said that. No, we don't have no kids up in this motherfucker. And any other kid that's up in this bitch, leave. I don't have no kids up in here. I don't be saying no kitty shit. I don't be saying no kitty shit. I don't be saying nothing to kids to relate to, none of that. So if you a kid, get the fuck up out my chat. End of the conversation about Shannon Sharpe and hoes and dots and shit. I'll just end it with this conclusion. This is my paramount stance on my premise. This bitch was a hooker. All right? Ain't no mistakes about it. She was a hooker. All right? She had been hooking, and without Stephen A. Sharpe, she still would have been a hooker, right? Is that fair? My question is, Tony Buzbee, is your client that you're representing, is she still involved in the trade? And I think everybody should be asking that question. Is she still hooking? How's she playing? Tony Buzbee, are you taking this pro bono? We got to know. I'm going to ask again. Did you take the case pro bono? And I think a lot of people should asking that question, and even more so ask the question of, is she still prostitute? Nobody's answering that question. Can anybody answer that question in the chat? Is this girl that Tony Buzbee is representing, is she still prostitute? Anybody know? Guys, make sure y'all hit that like button. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna see if niggas gonna keep it real. How many of y'all think she's still prostitute? I think she's still prostitute. Y'all really? Okay, so let me put it in perspective. You think she thinks she, yo, let me put this shit in chill mode. I can't hook no more. We got this 50 million. How many of y'all think that the girl that Tony Buzbee, who was being accused of Shannon Sharpe, how many of y'all think if she was hooking from 19 and she's 26 now, how many of y'all think she's still slinging vajay? How many people think she's still slinging vajay? Somebody tell me. Anybody? Anybody? Nobody? I knew it was going to be some fake shit up in here. I can guarantee you she's probably still selling vajay. I can't be adamant about that because I don't know her, but I'm pretty sure she's probably still selling vajay on OnlyFans, something like that to the measure. And y'all motherfuckers that's sitting there and y'all taking up for this bitch, y'all got another thing coming from me because I don't play it. I don't play it. Not at all. All right, guys, that has been my time. Yeah, she's still hooking. Kato Jones says she's still hooking. Let me see if anybody hit the chat shaft so I can thank y'all if y'all did. Of course, now I'm just not that type of blogger, right? It's all good though. Listen, there's a possibility. Let me tell you guys before I get up off of here. There's a possibility this week. It just depends on what the donations look like with this. And I'll be back tonight a little bit later. It just depends on what the donations look like or whatever. I get a lot of people in here that are weirdos and don't like to talk, don't like to donate, don't like to support. And they just preferably like to support women, including the men. That's why I made that little track about the men. Shannon Sharpe is going to get a barrage of men piling on with the women, as Lil Durk did. And this is the conversation with some of these guys nowadays. Talking about, yo, I hope that nigga go to jail and all. I'm like, yo, wow, this is the type of niggas y'all raising now? These are the type of niggas y'all raising now, huh? So, you know, what are you going to do? But, yeah, you always, it's just not going to be no support from men of color, so you're going to have to rely on Google, I guess. You know what I'm saying? But I want to thank the 2 or 3 people the other day that did donate. I appreciate you very much. They trying their best over here not to let me shine. So that's why I do other things. You know what I'm saying? For real, for real. That's why I do other things. You know what I'm saying? What you say? I do. Crest Dog said he thinks she's still hooking. K-Dog Joe says she's still hooking. I'm telling you, that girl is still hooking. That's why I said Tony Buzbee took along a client that's an active prostitute, and y'all too slow to figure it out. He then took on what is this, pretty woman? Tony Buzbee. Listen, the bitch admittedly herself, and fuck her. I'm not gonna respect this bitch. I respect girls that are going to college. I got sisters. I respect women that, you know what I'm saying? I respect the different elk of women. And men, y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna say it again. This lame ass bitch busted down from age 19 to 26. with Shannon Sharpe, and she was paid. There is a text from her saying that each cheat gonna cost you $25K. That's $50,000. Now you think, now that she's accused Shannon Sharpe, you think that the market gonna go up for her or the market gonna go down for her? No, she gonna have dudes hitting her up now. Yo, they know her name. Yo, shorty, what's up with the bust down? You know what I'm saying? I'm feeling kind of lonely. What's up with the bust down? I heard you was busting down for Shannon Sharpe. I ain't got Shannon Sharpe money, but I got a couple dollars. You know what I'm saying? What you do for 20? That's what it's gonna be. I'm trying to tell you. So in my personal opinion, I think that she stands more to gain from busting down than she does from not busting down. That's just my personal opinion. So anyway, guys, I'm going to get up out of here. Chat's going down. And on top of that, ain't nobody donating and supporting the channel. But let me tell y'all peace. Cato Jones, I appreciate you. Cypress Diggs, Deborah Jarvis. You don't know enough? That's all right, mama. You ain't got to know enough. Just make sure you come back. Check it out. Hey, chat, someone. Oh, wow. Okay, he was agreeing with me. All right, shout out to someone. I am in the New York City tri-state, man. Yeah, we got DJ Pablo out of here. That nigga said he was 15 years old. I said, you get the fuck out of here. Patty LaBelle, 80, and she got a boyfriend that's 46 at Cypress Dogs. Janone Lemack said, nice jacket. How you doing? I'm doing all right, man. I'm doing all right. I could be doing better. You know what I'm saying? But niggas just don't want me to make money on here. There's been so much lies. That's what a lot of YouTubers do now. They lie on people because they ain't got no stories. They can't move like I move. You know what I'm saying? They ain't welcome in some of the spots. I did some funky shit the other day, Friday, too. Niggas didn't even peep it. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep on prospering. And we're going to keep moving. You know what I'm saying? If I got to spend a couple dollars of my own money, I'll do that. But I won't be spent with you guys. That's why I didn't do it. That's why I kept telling y'all on Friday. I did two separate lives. I did a live with y'all after the hearing was over. But the live is on my other channel for people that know, you know, and subscribe to this. So I did that on purpose. I was like, yo, I'll get thousands of views, but none of these niggas is going to donate to me because, one, most of them are racist as fuck. Most of them are misandrous to women. Most of the women don't like men of color. You understand what I'm saying? Most of them quickly identify me as just being black, and that's it. So it brings some disdain to them. My white consumers, I'm not talking enough tap dancing talk for them. So they like, yo, if you was just putting down black people, we donate to. I'm not doing that shit. Even though they motherfuckers won't support me, I'm not gonna turn on them and do no shit like that. I ain't. What's that nigga's name? I ain't that nigga. I forgot what his name is. That old nigga. The problem with black people, I ain't doing that for no white audiences. Nigga, fuck you. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. I refuse to do that. I say what I say to the people. You know what I mean? What's going on, Louis Castro? I will, man. Appreciate you. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, we about to head up out of here, man. I've been here for 2 hours. I don't know how many people in here. Nobody wanted to donate and support the channel. So, you know, I take off after that. I don't be like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? I'm just explaining to the crowd that just now showing up. There's been people, a lot of people don't like what I have to say and how I say it. They think I should be a little bit more feminine. I should be a little bit more soft-voiced or whatever. Or I shouldn't have so much gumption with me and be so cocky, as I was called, or whatever, because I'm a man of color. And I'm like, bitch, whoever said that, fuck you. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of other women, they don't like me because they say, I heard a woman last night on Anton Daniels. Was it Anton Daniels' show? No. It was Pop the Balloon of Fine Love. And the bitch said on there, she said, you cute and everything, but you just a little too cocky. You got a little bit too much. What she said? You got a little bit too much confidence. And I had to stop for a minute because I was like, ain't this the same group of chicks that be talking about body positivity and all this shit? You can't call me fat. I'm just plump and I'm special and all, you know, ain't this the same group of bitches? I was like, yo, I'm confused. So, you know, I just ignore it. The YouTube crowd is basically negativity. You understand what I'm saying? So if you're somebody that's talking real facts outside of the contrived negativity, they're not going to like you. You understand what I'm saying? So I know what I'm up against. I know that black Americans specifically go for gossip and the T channels and all that. For some reason or another, I keep getting them words from motherfuckers over here in my channel, and then none of them donate to people like me. The only people they donate to, and I find it, because I see some people over here that's in my chat today that I've seen in other chats, and I've seen you donate to women. So don't say you don't, or don't give me the other one. Everybody ain't got money like that. Yo, niggas be going on superstars pages donating to them. I'm dead serious. There's one superstar tonight. He gonna have a podcast. You are not gonna see, I'm gonna share the podcast too. You are not gonna see any short of motherfucking donations to this man just because of who he is. And they used to do the same thing. What's that guy's name? Kwame or whatever his name is. I ain't dissing him. I'm just like, why the fuck does this guy have a cash app and he's a multi-millionaire? But there was black people donating to him. So, you know, I guess it's historically, you know, the folks, they put their money where in strange places. Let me put it that way. You know what I'm saying? I never got the temperament to donate money or a multi-millionaire having a cash app. And these same multi-millionaires who have disposable income are not donating to anybody. They're not sharing nobody's podcast. They're not trying to support anybody or whatever. So it is what it is. Yeah, man, I do want to put things together. I mean, I show example of that. Like I said before, I'm glad you said that in here too. A lot of these podcasters, not most of them, the difference between, let me put that out. The difference between them is this. One, I worked in the music industry for 17 freaking years. I helped not develop artists, but we helped promote them. Two, I was an artist myself. So, and I'm an artist that sold units. You know what I mean? So I tell people all the time, I'm like, yo, if you want to hear, because some people will be they'll say, I want to be a music artist or whatever the case may be, but they never sell any units. So you're not a music artist if you ain't sold no units. You understand what I'm saying? So I try to give people direction on that. I can talk more about the music industry, but I don't. And the reason I don't is I'm not a tea channel. I'm not a gossip channel. I believe that's shit for women. Women gossip. You know what I'm saying? Men ain't supposed to be around here gossiping. So I don't get into the gossiping thing. That's a deterrent for a lot of the African-American crowd. The men, on the other hand, they tend to only go where the women are. You understand? And so, or they'll donate. Now, this is one angle that I found. If you're in that red pill, blue pill, that quasi-homosexual area right there, whatever, y'all, don't worry about it, y'all. This is a loudmouth black woman trying to get recognized. They all do that. They'll talk loud on their phone like that because they want you to look at them. Yeah. Everybody show her some attention. Y'all see that, right? I keep trying to tell y'all that. That's the new way of women flirting. Hey, I'm going to talk loud on my cell phone. That'll get his attention. Not with me, sweetheart. Strange behavior. What you said there? Deborah's laughing. It's the truth. You have noticed that? I have this shit happen to me all the time. You won't hear anything from 15 feet out, and then as soon as I get right in front of you, they, oh, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what the fuck? You have to be fucking mentally ill to do shit like that. Like, I don't know. Just say hi. You know what I'm saying? That's it. It's gotten so bad that women don't even know how to flirt anymore or garner a man's attention anymore. You're not going to garner my attention by walking past me talking loud on your cell phone. That shit's a turn off, if you ask me. That means you're going to be at home doing that shit eventually. You know what I'm saying? Hey, girl. I ain't with that shit. You know what I'm saying? I am not with that shit. But that's what I was saying. You guys know I do I feel a good job. We got videos on here that have 332,000 views, all kinds of shit. And you just don't get that financial support from these people, all based on the fact that you had a whole nother group of people. I did a whole video. I hate to bring a name up, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. This woman, Jaguar Wright, unprovoked, did a podcast, I think it was about a week ago, and she mentioned my name in it, and I was like, I hadn't even said anything about this shit. And then later on, I heard her do another podcast, and she reiterated the same words that I said. And I didn't even do anything to them. I said, I didn't do nothing to you. Now, for people that frequent my channel, they know I was here actually taking up for Jaguar Wright. I felt there was some contention with her. I forgot what the chick's name is in Canada or whatever. So I just wanted to go in on it because I felt like I watched her sit with them and everything. And I watched her sit with, what's his name, Atwood and all those guys. And I was in this space where I saw them start to bash her. And I was like, well, let me, you know what I'm saying, take up for a little bit or whatever. Now she paid me back. She went on her podcast and told 300-some people in her chat room, yeah, he stopped working for Bad Boy in 2005 and all these lies. And I'm like, chick, here's me right here with Diddy Dirty. And y'all remember if y'all was there for the podcast, it's still up. I said, here's me with Diddy Dirty Money. That wasn't even until 2011, 2012. Here's me with this project, that project. I was just showing multiple projects, which I had pictures of me actually, you know what I'm saying, in the projects. And I'm talking about the musical projects, not the housing projects. And so it disdained everything that, what's the name, because she said it, they're going to believe her. You understand what I'm saying? And it was no reason for her to say. It was no I mean, there was absolutely no reason for her to say what she said, and she said it. And I was like, I was taken aback by it. I was like, why would you say that when I'm taking up for you? I was literally taking up for her. I was doing vlogs every day on this one. I stopped doing that. I told Chick, I was like, have your way with her. You understand what I'm saying? Have your way with her. But to that same chick, you gonna stop taking my words and shit and using them on your podcast. That shit's chuck. You know what I mean? So, yeah, we've had a couple of most of the people that I've had on my channel that have been a problem. Ironically enough, I mean, you get a couple sprinkles, a little bit of everybody, but the majority of them will either be black dudes or Spanish dudes, think they so hood, or fucking black women. That is usually my three people right there that I have a problem with. Even in society, a lot of black dudes, they walk around and they try to act like they're in a prison cell. You know what I'm saying? Like everywhere they touch down at is the hood. Like you see where I live at and where I've been at, this is not the hood. So it's quick to see, you know what I'm saying, who's who. But it's amazing to me that like those will be the same guys that'll be online and they'll side with these women and they'll attack you. They'll do podcasts about you. I had a gentleman, he did a whole podcast about me telling people like he knew me. This man lived in California. But was talking about me. He ain't never met me a day in his life, don't know nothing about me. There's nobody he could reach out to verify or unverify who I am. But yet and still, he took it upon himself to do this. So, and I still have a thorn in my eye for that because he did it like 2 or 3 times, but I let bygones be bygones and rock on. You know what I'm saying? But it's a couple of people that have turned this attack, and every time I look, the face has been black. You understand? So when I turn around, I say, okay, you see what I'm doing? You see how I'm moving? You see how and niggas is still like, nah, because so-and-so blogger said this, or so-and-so, or Jaguar Wright said this. I'm like, Jaguar Wright doesn't know me. You understand what I'm saying? So it's just funny to me or whatever. So when you speak about me, just make sure you speak about me correctly. You understand what I'm saying? And I definitely was around way after. With 2005, I'd already been there for 5 years. So I was there up until 2016. So I was another 11 years I was still there. What's up, Leading? What am I doing in the streets? You think it's I don't like people that think like that. I don't like people that think like that. People that think like that, I think people that think like that come in with them little what do you call it? Nigga calligraphy. People that come in my shit like that, or poor white trash calligraphy. People that come in my chat room like that, man, I don't even address you. You know what I'm saying? I don't even address you. That nigga had no money. He probably sitting up in his girlfriend's house. All right, y'all, I gotta go. I ain't wasting up my battery fucking with people that ain't support my channel. I appreciate y'all being here. For those that were here, you know what I'm saying? Peace to you too, yep. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna run down and tell anybody's name anymore because fuck that, ain't none of them niggas donate. I'll support the channel. But for those that see this on the rebroadcast, make sure y'all support the channel or whatever, support the movement or whatever. Like I said, I'm out here on my own with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to deliver some good content. I think I am. I think I've consistently done that. Real, on location, on site with many of these things where these other people that y'all donating to and contributing to are sitting in their bedrooms. Something to think about.